likely won't be available for some time. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel up 433 points to 42,418. Road work on 44 going east at Washington in the right lane. 270 east at Lindbergh in the left lane. There's a crash on 55 going southbound at 7th Street. Left exits reportedly closed there.
Partly sunny skies on this Monday, but clouds will tend to be on the increase as we push our way through the afternoon. It's breezy. It's not really windy. 62 for the high. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy skies. A little impulse of energy coming by, but it looks dry. 44 for the low. On Tuesday, lots of sunshine, 69 degrees. Partly cloudy on Tuesday night, 44. Wednesday, sunny and 64. Opening day on Thursday. Right now, it continues to look pretty good. Partly to mostly sunny skies, 70 for the high temperature. However, there will be some showers moving in late in the afternoon into the evening, and it will be wet on Thursday night with showers and the possibility of some thunderstorms. So got to play fast to get this game in. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray for the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electrical. 55 degrees, feels like 49 at the moment. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Martins came over, we were having spaghetti when we suddenly noticed that we started getting sweaty. So we grabbed the keys and we ate it in the van. That's what my friend said, call Jerry Kelly, man, JerryKelly.com. Give him a call even though it's late, JerryKelly.com.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Good afternoon, St. Louis. DGS on KMOX. To be accurate, 104.1 FM KMOX. So long time coming. This is a really, really big deal to us. Thank you to Jason. First one in says happy 104.1 day. Yeah, so this is a very big deal for us. You know what? It's the first day of the rest of our lives.
Wow. I mean, kind of.
I just made that up.
That's deep, man.
Yeah. It just hit me. It just hit me.
Man, you just hit me.
Right in the feels.
Should I hit Andrew?
Yes, please. We can solve so many problems right now.
No.
I have to go to HR for hurting your feelings.
Oh.
You go to HR for busting his jaw.
Yeah.
Kevin handles his feelings differently.
I say I have feelings? Man.
So hopefully you got to hear Chris and Amy at their new time slot, 9 to noon. And I was just listening to the Gas House Gang that has a different feel with Ranji in there and Ackerman, and then Klebs joined them at the end. I think that's going to be great. We do our normal stuff, normal shenanigans from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And tonight we're going to cut out a little bit early because there's a big KMOX party for the 104.1 rollout with a bunch of clients and muckety muck. So we're going to be heading to that. All but one of us.
Yeah.
The little boy, Kevin Wheeler, has to stay back and do his new show.
Somebody's got to do some Cardinals baseball talk, man.
Yeah, right?
True, that's
true.
Looking
forward to that, man. So that'll be 5 to 6 every day, the Redbird Rush Hour. So that'll be me and Matt Pauley every day, but Matt will be in and out sometimes, like when he's at the ballpark, if he has to talk to Ali or do whatever. There may be some times where there's a segment here and there he's not there, but mostly it's the two of us. Bernie will join us a couple times a week, and we'll mix in some other things too. Like today, for example, Matt's calling the game on KMOX
that's cool.
from Memphis with Benji Molina. So we may have Benji pop in today just for a few minutes. So it's going to be the same format you're used to. Traffic and weather, as it always has been. That's not changing. We know what a big deal that is.
Yeah.
But then you're just going to get Cardinals talk in the lead up to the pregame. And obviously more Cardinals is good.
Nice. Bethany James says it's her birthday on the Big FM day. So
HBD.
Happy birthday to Bethany.
Happy birthday, Bethany.
Yeah. And our girl Janelle saying sorry to the whole crew regarding Brian McKenna. I mean, just just crazy.
What a thing to wake up to.
Yeah,
the other day.
it really, 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 really was. Probably the closest person to me I've had pass away, besides Burton, whose last name wasn't Glover.
Right.
And with Brian, like, everyone who knew him even a little bit understood that he was like a superhero, right? Like, I was talking to Trish over the weekend about it, and she said everyone thought they were Brian's best friend.
I mean, that's how he treated you.
But not in a manipulative way.
Right.
He just treated everyone so great that everyone thought they were Brian's best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could go back to when I first moved to town, right? I just got here in late season 2006. And, he was doing sports show, daily at the time. And he didn't know me. I didn't know him. But the first time we ran into each other, he was just like, welcome to St. Louis, man. We may be competitors, but hey, I got this charity thing. Why don't you come out and we can hang out? Why don't, just from the word go, always that way.
Yeah.
Just the coolest guy. Always doing good work for, for first responders, police officers, always doing something for other people.
Yes.
Yeah. And I kept seeing on social media this weekend, just other people in radio and television posting like the last 10 times Ryan came on our program it was to promote a charity.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
because
Frank.
That's what he did. Yeah.
That was Frank Cusimano. Yeah.
I mean, just an amazing person and just unbelievable that he's gone.
Yeah. He and I had grown even closer lately. When my mom was sick, I don't think there's a single person in my life who texted me more. I mean, I think he texted me half a dozen times a day. Yeah. And then he was always on the stream, since we put the stream up, he was always on there saying something intelligent, which I would come back with, put your shirt on, which he loved.
I was going to say, I think he liked that. It's a compliment.
And what, I mean, if you haven't heard, Brian famously, it's almost like you need to turn his apartment into like a museum or something, lived right on Francis Park, correct? Right? Because you're down in that general area as well. And he was just such a known commodity and, always going out to his favorite haunts. And there's no good way to die. But I had to sort of chuckle over the weekend. This is so Brian running across the street at 1 a.m. to get home. It's like, it's Brian. It's just tragic what happened, but him doing it is no surprise.
Right.
Like I can visualize it. I can just see him having a great time out with his pals, finished his last drink, walking home, just life. You just never know where life's going to take you.
And after what he fought through too.
Yeah.
Just the worst.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
No easy way for that either, I mean, I think it felt like, look, a lot of we've lost a lot of personalities in St. Louis in the sports communities, in recent years. They're usually older ball players, things along those lines. But you just look around at how many people commented, how many people had Brian stories, how many people from Rennie Knott to Frank Cusimano, like literally everybody in town. And my community, the people I follow are largely the sports people. But it's beyond that too. I mean, just you're an example of that. It's beyond just the radio community, because I saw comments from people that, on Facebook, just as an example, that only knew him through some of the charitable work that he's done. But everybody's story is kind of the same.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, he's the guy that made you laugh. He's the guy that got things done. He's the guy that was, kind of the voice of the people when he was doing his radio
kind of the
show.
Unofficial mayor of St. Louis.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know where they're going to be able to hold his funeral.
Man,
it's going to be packed.
Yeah.
Just packed. They should probably rent out a hall, some big place.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
So, yeah. I didn't know what to do with my hands all weekend.
No, I woke up to your guys' text. That's the first I had heard of it. And I just sat there like, I read it 3 times, the message from you guys, trying to make sure that I was understanding what you were saying. Yes. At first I'm like, what do you know?
Yes.
I'm reading this wrong.
Yes. Yeah. No, I mean, what a life. He went through a lot, He accomplished a lot. He went through a lot of hardships. He's a big family left behind. So all the best to the McKennas.
But no, I don't know many people that impact more people.
No.
He impacted a lot of people in a good way.
Yes. 100%. Amy is asking if the Redbird Rush Hour will be year-round or what happens when there's no baseball.
Well, during the baseball season, it's not changing. Right. That's going to be there every day, whether there's a game or not. The only way it won't be there, for example, is if there's an East Coast game, because then we'll be in the Cardinals Network pregame show by that time. Or if there's on opening day, that show won't be there because the game is going to start and run over that. But on any day where there's no, where it's not conflicting with a Cardinals specific broadcast, that'll be there. I don't know beyond the season, mostly because I don't think any of us have thought that far ahead yet.
We're not planners.
But I would hope that it's just going to stick in some form or another, mostly because Matt and I just like doing stuff together. So it'll be fun either way. Just be an extension of Sports Open Line.
And clearly, St. Louis has a taste for Cardinal baseball year round.
Yeah,
I mean.
There's no off season.
Yeah.
There's no off season here for Cardinals. No. And there's always stuff to talk about. There's always people to talk to. When you think about the potential off season, it can be more instead of news and here's what's happening and what's the Cardinals made their opening day, lineup or made the opening day roster.
Yeah.
It'll be then maybe let's bring in some people to tell stories.
Yeah.
We got a lot of great Cardinals alums that live in town. We've got, access to everybody through the team. We have a lot of ways to talk ball throughout the year that can be different than just lineup talk or in-season game-by-game stuff.
Well, now you guys know what I've known for a couple of weeks. They pulled me in a little bit early. It's really funny. One of the best lines ever. They pulled me in a couple, 3 weeks ago and made me sign an NDA and then told me a bunch of stuff.
Dave's like, what are you going to tell me?
Oh, yeah, you know me. The worst thing you can say to me is, hey, come see me later. Because I know I'm getting fired. And one day Steve said, hey, can you come by at the top of your next break? Oh, great.
He's like, something's wrong.
So I go in there and he's got an NDA. And he's like, I need you to sign this and then come back at 5. I'm like, no, I'm not. I quit. Like,
you can't make me do that.
Clearly getting fired.
Yeah.
And so I come back and they tell me this stuff. But the great line was Beth, who runs the newsroom, our news director. She and I went to breakfast about a week ago. And, I'm feeling kind of special because they brought me in. And I said to her, did they make you sign an NDA? And she goes, no, they trust me. It's the most Beth thing ever.
I mean, that's,
And it was funny, but it was true. I'm like,
direct to the point.
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
But anyway, we had a couple people push back on the stream when we announced this last week, saying, oh, if the station goes too much sports or the DHS goes too much sports, I'm not going to enjoy it. I think this is the perfect way to transition. I don't know of any plan that KMOX is ever going to be all sports. I mean, it's news, it's talk, it's sports, it's Cardinals. But having an hour in the middle of the day and then having an hour pregame or pre-Sports Open Line, I think is genius. I think that's the perfect way to do it. Here on the DGS, we will probably have a few more sports topics and sports guests, but nothing that you would have noticed. Does that make sense?
Well, probably nothing different than the last few years that I
No,
can
not
recall,
really.
right? I mean, we've had Ricky twice a week for the last few years. You and I have always brought stuff in. Tom pops in, Matt pops in. I mean, it's not going to change that much.
Yeah. Yeah. Gina talking about Brian says he was a friend to all and made everyone feel important. Grief is deep. So, shout out to our pal.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting rules for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
I'm sure you've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, and the other GLP-1 medications, right? Well, I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text MIND to 200-300 to get started today with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic, but for 80 to 90% less and 100% online. Don't wait. Text MIND to 200-300 right now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text MIND to 200-300. That's MIND to 200-300. MIND to 200-300.
Now's a great time to call Morelli Tuck Pointing, get an estimate on exterior tuck pointing, and hop on the spring schedule. Now, if you've been thinking of getting any interior brickwork or stonework tuck pointed, this is also a great time for that. Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. For 34 years, Morelli has been tuck pointing completely solid houses and buildings, repairing brick and stone walls, foundations, walkways, porches, and patios. The Morellis will also caulk and waterproof your home or building. Morelli has worked on 2 of my homes, treating them like they were their own, always leaving the job site cleaner than when they found it, and that's why the Morellis have won the Angie's List Super Service Award every year since 2005. Morelli is also a recipient of the Better Business Bureau Torch Award. Research their reviews on the Google, Angie's List, and Better Business Bureau websites. 314-645-1387 and MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Tell you guys about Michael's Flooring Outlet. Mike has been with me since my 2nd month on the air. He is a very good guy. He's a very straightforward guy. He's an interesting guy in his personal life. He's huge into rock and roll and a big Kiss fan and just a really fun guy to talk to. But when it comes to his work life, he keeps things as simple as possible. He said, look, Dave, and this is 24 years ago, he said this to me. So I didn't go into the flooring business because I wanted to be complicated. I didn't go into the flooring business because I wanted a complex life. I did it because I wanted a simple life. And why go into a simple business where you have all the major brands and you have an entry level, you have a mid-level, you have a luxury level? That's really simple. That's like 3 things to remember from maybe 5 different brands of carpeting and hardwood and so forth. So I'm not going to complicate my life by lying to people. I'm not going to complicate my life by fudging and being fraudulent about something just to make an extra $100 per project. So he'll tell you the truth. He'll try to save you money if he can. He's probably had 10,000 people from the DGS now over the 24 years, 3 locations around town, Weston, St. Charles, michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
The Biz Dash returns for its 10th year as St. Louis's healthiest happy hour. All levels of runners and walkers welcome. Thursday, May 22nd at Energizer Park in downtown St. Louis. Create your company team today at stlbizdash.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Total Information AM, weekdays 5 to 9 on the voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
.122 DGS on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Baby.
I didn't know.
I got to go a little.
It was me.
That's a flashback from like when I was a kid in Detroit. There's a guy named Arthur Penhollow who had the voice of God.
Yeah.
And it was on the rock station to be like, WRIF, baby. And he would do it like big. It was awesome.
I'll be honest with you. I honestly thought it was the schizoid diagnosis hitting me all of a sudden.
Dave's like, I'm hearing voices.
I was like, well, there it is. There it is.
Unfortunate day for that to happen.
I want to say one more thing about Brian. And it's sort of about grief in general. And as you guys know, lost my mom last summer, and you guys went through that with me, and been doing this hospice volunteer work and the No One Dies Alone stuff. And so grief has been a much bigger part of my world than it has in the past. And something that I've realized, I want to run it by you guys, that I think most people would agree that grief, it comes in waves. You're not always despondent. You're not always crying. It comes in waves. And it struck me that the reason for that is that you can only grasp it intermittently. Like if you were to really grasp the totality of losing someone, a parent, a friend, God forbid, a child, you couldn't function. And so I think that the mind protects itself, and the nervous system protects itself, and you're just going along and hit a couple of spots of turbulence, and then you really get into the stew pot because your head and your heart just happened to grasp it at that moment. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I even had that with Brian over the weekend because it's such a weird ass thing to hear.
Yeah.
No one expects to hear that their 61-year-old pal got hit by a car. You just don't expect to hear that.
Mm-mm.
And so I was having a normal weekend, and I'm eating Whoppers and I'm watching The Pit, and then it would hit me, and you're just like, you just put the Whoppers down. You're like, oh God, my friend's gone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just crazy.
Yeah. That's a good point about the brain being its own little, working its own little defense mechanism.
Yeah.
Because those kinds of things would be overwhelming if it was just all there.
Yeah.
at
Every
once.
time someone's parents died, they would just be in a home or something,
Although there are certain things that I haven't experienced it, but I've seen it. Like the loss of a kid, where it is kind of overwhelming, and people do kind of end up in a bit of a shell for a while because you can't get through it.
I don't think he would mind me saying this, but my really good friend Scott, who I did Foxpaw with, he lost his daughter to ovarian cancer on her 25th birthday. Yeah, talk about rough. And they were super, super tight. And when I take Phoebe to Colorado, that's where Scott would take Kimber.
Mm.
And they would go up on the mountain, and they would just spend the whole day.
Yeah.
Like they'd take the gondola up and they would just hang out. And the first few months after losing Kim, he was staying out in Colorado, and he would take the first gondola up and the last gondola down.
Oh yeah.
Just by himself the whole day.
Yeah.
Watch the sun come up, watch the sun go down. Just out of grief. Just wanted to be close to her.
You also just don't know what else to do. I would
Right.
guess. I mean, again, haven't done that, so I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I had a close friend that lost his year-old son when they were on vacation. Just died of heat exhaustion, dehydration. Went to the hospital. Hospital sent them home, and on the way home from the hospital, the kid passed away. And my buddy is one of my best friends from high school. Just for a while, you don't know how to talk.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know what they need.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Really strange.
Yes. Yeah, I thankfully haven't been in too many of those situations, but sometimes Steve, our boss, lost his son. And I remember walking up to him at the wake and Steve just saying, no words.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
Yeah. I think I said something similar to
Yeah.
him. Like,
Yeah.
nothing.
And if you're just tuning in, you're wondering what we're talking about. Our good pal, Brian McKenna, passed away over the weekend. He was hit by a car on Hampton as he was crossing over, heading to his apartment over in Francis Park. And we're just kind of, giving him a tribute and loving him, missing him.
I mean, he was a big deal, man.
Larger than life.
I mean, he was a big deal here. Everybody knew him. And everybody loved being around him. He deserves that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, evidently he called himself the most famous, unfamous person in St. Louis.
Except that he wasn't unfamous, man.
No.
Because everybody, if you mention his name, I was like, I know Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Either they listened to him on the radio, or they saw him at an event, or they met him.
Brian had a fine career, but I always thought it should have been bigger.
Yeah.
He was just, I don't know. He had the whole package.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Cardinals fans, the wait is finally over. Baseball is back.
Now the pitch.
Join us Thursday, starting at 9 for a full day of Cards coverage, featuring insights from management, broadcasters, alumni, and more. At 1:35, it's time for the opening day pregame ceremonies, and at 3:15, the Cards and Twins kick off the 2025 campaign. On your home of the St. Louis Cardinals, 11:20 a.m., 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yields, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate. Paid for by Bayer.
Hey guys, about Neovitin. Should be one of the easier lives I do all day because it is a multivitamin. It not only has multiple vitamins, as you'd expect a multivitamin to have, but they have 20 ingredients, which includes antioxidants. It includes omega-3 fish oils, which even if you don't have high cholesterol like I do, you still need omega-3 fish oils. Most omega-3 vitamins worth their salt are going to have a bit of a fishy taste, but somehow the geniuses at Neovitin have been able to engineer it so that it does not. It's going to cost you less than $1 a day. You can find it at Schnucks and Deerbergs locally. You can also go to neovitin.com and read the entire story about my good friend and Dr. Ken Rubicki, who created Neovitin basically in his bathtub. I mean, it was back when he was fighting pancreatic cancer and he tried different multivitamins. They didn't touch his level of exhaustion. He wanted to keep being a doctor and running marathons and such. And when he hit upon this recipe, which is, different than what it is now, we've perfected it even more, and decided to sell it. That's been probably 20 plus years ago. Again, that's neovitin.com.
It's time now for Dave Murray's weather, sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm.
Clouds will continue to increase as we go through our Monday afternoon. A little impulse of energy coming by tonight, but it's no big deal. A breezy 62 for the high. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy skies, 44, but want to keep it dry. On Tuesday, all about sunshine, 69, partly cloudy and 44 Tuesday night. Wednesday, pretty day, sunny and 64 for opening day. Partly to mostly sunny skies, 70, but some rain showers moving in late in the day, and it will be on the wet side on Thursday night. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray for the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers and important decisions should not be based solely on advertising.
Discover true luxury at Missouri's first and only standalone Genesis dealership, Genesis of St. Charles. Thank you for making us the #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2024. True luxury isn't just built. It's engineered with precision and passion. Explore amazing cutting-edge technology, redefined elegance, and exhilarating performance in the new 25 GV80. A new level of luxury awaits you at Genesis of St. Charles. Visit us in-store or shop genesisofstcharles.com. Based on GMA sales records.
Schedule your free tree inspection from Gamma Tree Experts now. I'm Tim Gamma. Our certified arborist and horticulturist are ready to meet you in preparation of the coming season. Winter is always hard on a lot of trees here in St. Louis. If you have a tree that you're really concerned about, let us come take a look at it for free. I'm Tim Gamma. Give me a call at 725-6159. That's 314-725-6159. Your trees deserve the best care from Gamma Tree Experts.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get 3 rooms Zero Resified starting at $119. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and tell them that KMOX sent you. Spell it forward, spell it backward. It's always the same, Zero Res.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Our firm handles hundreds of crash cases involving semi-trucks every year. A crash case involving semis is much different, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can leave lots of money on the table. Many times there is separate insurance for the cab and for the trailer. Sometimes there are actually layers of other insurances and excess insurance that some lawyers may not know about because they don't see that many cases. We see these cases every day. Also, there are federal laws governing the hours a driver may drive in a 24-hour period and logs that are required. A crash case involving a semi-truck is a totally different animal than a simple car crash. We have lawyers who only handle these cases. It's all they do. Rolling the dice with the wrong law firm can be disastrous. Call us on your cell phone at Pound Law, pound 529. It's so easy.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX 133. As we're going to keep telling you, we went to 104.1 FM sometime last night, midnight-ish, somewhere around there. I was asking the engineers, was there like a big cartoonish switch you pull?
Go out to the antenna.
Yeah. And they said, no, it's all computers, but they said they thought about rigging one up so that we could do that.
Kind of like the big fancy charity check.
Yeah.
Like just make it fun. Yeah.
That would have been fun. You ever think about so I was watching a little bit of the astronauts return.
Uh-huh.
And of course people were saying it was CGI.
Oh, sure.
It's what we do now. But do you think like the young earthers ever just go, I'm so stupid? Like to themselves.
You mean the flats?
Yeah.
The
What did I
flatties?
say? Young?
Yeah.
Yeah, flats. The flats. It reminds me, I don't know if you knew this one, Wheels. Probably, so Phoebe was probably about 10. So about 10 years ago, we were watching Elf, and there's a narwhal.
Yeah.
Which is a sea animal.
Yeah.
That looks like a whale with a big unicorn horn on it.
Yep.
And Phoebe said, man, I would love it if I could see a narwhal one of these days. And I'm like, baby, narwhals aren't real. And she goes, what do you mean? I said, well, they're made up. They're like, unicorns and things. And she goes, no, Dad, they're real. We studied it in class. And I said, honey, I'm going to do you a big favor because I don't want you getting made fun of by your classmates. They're not real. And so we Googled it, and I'll be a son of a bitch. There were the narwhals.
Yep.
I was a grown man and didn't know that was a real creature.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not real common.
Can never be too sure.
Well,
you always have to keep one foot on first base.
I don't know. I feel like if you believe the earth is flat, there's just something in you that's telling you like, no, you know better than everybody else. Do you need to have qualifications for this? No, but you just know in your gut and in your heart of hearts that you know better.
Yeah.
And that's a really difficult thing to overcome. Like if you believe in yourself to that extent, like I really don't know how you convince someone
if your identity
that
is
the
caught
earth
up.
is round.
That that really is it. Whether it's politics or narwhals or flat earth, if your identity, if your self-worth is tied up in a thought or a belief, you're on thin ice.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I think.
But think about it from your end. You were convinced that it wasn't exist, but as soon as you were presented evidence
it's a good point.
that it existed, you went, oh,
yeah, it's a good point.
I was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like
not only was I wrong, I was shocked. And I was immediately 10 years old. I'm like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. Oh my God, there's a whale with a unicorn.
Like
horn.
I have still never, ever once heard a flat earther explain what the point would be of everyone making that up.
Yeah.
What do you gain?
Yeah.
Why would and literally every person in the world that knows physics and science would have to be in on the lie.
Yeah.
Why? What do they get out of it?
Just giggling behind your back.
Right. Like, what's the point? And they'll be like, it's about control, man. What are they controlling?
Yeah.
What are they controlling with that information? It's a big globe. We know it, man. We've been to outer space. We got pictures. I think they should. I think one of these rich guys with a space shuttle should be taking flat earthers up and flying them around the globe.
Hey, speaking of, let's talk about the pyramids. Tell the story how that came out.
All right. So, first of all, for about 5 minutes, I fell for this because I'm curious about this stuff, and I thought it was fascinating. So last week, there's this big buzz, right? It's on Twitter. Definitely on TikTok. There are videos there. I'm sure it's on other social media. But that these two scientists, these Italian scientists, they used some special underground scanning. It's a real thing that was pointed out, that they found these massive underground structures below all of the pyramids in Giza that reached 2,000 feet below the ground. There were these eight huge cylinders, and they looked like they had like almost walkways going around them, and they emptied into this huge 80-meter wide chambers and all this. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty fascinating. And I start searching it because, I'm going to make sure. And I'm like, oh. And Andrew was in there with me while we're doing it. And he's like, yeah, I don't see a real news place with this. I'm like, nope, you're right. You're not. Like, the closest thing is like all the tabloids, right? Like, that's all that has it. And then it turns out it's based on like 3-year-old stuff from these two guys that are basically just nuts. Like one guy, and again, not to knock anybody that does this, but when the sources of this kind of thing are people that have been involved in investigating abductions, alien abductions, and the other one is into, what was the other guy is into some other big conspiracy, and I can't remember what it is. You start to go, okay, that's fine, but where, like the scientific, and then the people that were doing this, that studied this story that was catching up, they ran all the images through an AI detector, and basically all of it was made by AI. None of this scanning was real. None of it was. And number one, I was mad that I fell for it for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then number two, I'm like, but why? Why is everybody? Why are we so quick to do it? Because I fell for it, but I also then started looking it up, because I wasn't going to be like, wow, these people I've never heard of on social media are telling me this. It must be true.
I didn't hear the AI part. I was hook, line, and sinker myself. And what I thought happened until you just said that was that these guys who were real guys.
They are real guys.
Did a real study.
They did in 2022.
Using real sonar.
They did.
And but then in a scientific paper, there comes a point where it says like conclusions and whatever.
Right.
And that's where they kind of went off the goofy crap immediately.
That's right.
But I saw a lot of real archaeologists say we're still really intrigued by this. They just got over their skis.
Exactly.
I didn't hear the AI thing.
Yeah. Well, that's just for the imagery. That, like, when you see the videos that are online, like TikTok people are walking through these videos, these graphic breakdowns of what it looks like below the pyramids. That was all done with AI.
Well, I was excited for a minute.
Well, yeah, because it's a cool story, and we don't know what's down there.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not allowed to just go dig there, right? I mean, Egypt decides who gets to do those things and who doesn't, and who gets access and who doesn't.
What if it's Bigfoot and he's just giggling?
Dude, what if there are a bunch of big feet down there?
Yeah, just down there.
And he wised up fast, but I was
in because it sounds fun.
He was losing his
And then
mind.
I was like, because Andrew's like, and we were both searching it at the same time. He's like, I don't see anything that looks like normal. And I'm like, yeah, me neither. Dang
it's like every article's from like Morby News.
Right. They're all
like, it doesn't sound real.
There's not a single news publication in the world picking this up.
Speaking of the internet and medicine, I don't know if you saw this, but I tend to consume quite a lot of what I thought. Now, I didn't think they were all doctors, but, having mental health issues the way I do, I'll watch everything on ADD or ADHD or OCD or whatever letters I think I have that day. And someone did a study, actual psychologists and psychiatrists, and said less than 1% of the top 100 TikTokers with the most views on ADHD, they just picked that one, less than 1% was accurate. So they're just kind of spitballing, which can help, I think, like, for example, what I do. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an expert. But when I come on my show and say, hey, here's some of the things I've felt. And, just I want to normalize that for anyone out there who's feeling this, or maybe even give you some advice. That's cool. But I guess these people were like, and here are the top 10 signs of blah, blah, blah. And they were just wrong. So just be careful.
And it's also about how you position things, right? If you're positioning it like you do, hey, we're normal people and normal experiences and we're exchanging ideas and what have I dealt with and what have you dealt with? That's one thing. But there are people on there that are positioning it like, I know exactly what I'm talking about and I'm going to lead you down the right path.
Or how many people have self-diagnosed and then they become the experts and are educating other people. It's like you don't even have a diagnosis from an actual doctor for yourself.
Isn't it so easy to do though? Like you just see, I don't see posts because I'm not on social media proper, but I can imagine just from seeing TikToks that if you see an especially impressive post, you just kind of go like, oh, well, that's a fact of my life now.
Oh no, when you see, there are definitely people that in their delivery will convince you that they're smart. Right? I mean, and I mean, it's, I don't know if you fall for it, but because that's not the right term, but you're like, man, they really have a good way of putting things. And then you do a quick look and like, oh, damn it. Like, that just sounded good. It wasn't real.
Tell you guys about Michael's Baths. I just happen to think that this is one of the coolest things going. It's pretty meaningless to you if you are not interested in doing a bathroom rehab. But if you are, this could be the coolest thing to happen to you all week, because Mike does the same thing that Bath Fitter does in 3-Day Kitchen and Bath, but he does it locally. He does it family owned and operated. Every dollar that goes into Michael's Baths stays in St. Louis. There's no regional manager. There's no national boss to kick the money up to. It all supports families right here. He has about 8 crews working for him right now. He's done really well with the advertising on KMOX. You guys call, you guys write checks. He is a true craftsman. Everyone who he hires is the same: carpenters, plumbers, things like that. If you are a disabled veteran, you can get this bathroom for free. That is a VA benefit that you have earned and deserve. If not, he can come in 30 to 50% less than any of the aforementioned companies. Call 636-775-0800 or michaelsbaths.com.
KMOX Cakes and Eggs, presented by Budweiser, is back at Cardinals Nation Restaurant in Ballpark Village, Thursday, March 27th from 11 till 2. It'll feature a live KMOX broadcast, a brunch buffet, draft beer from Anheuser-Busch products, and select mixed drinks. All-inclusive single tickets and tables on sale now. Celebrate this unofficial holiday with KMOX, Budweiser, Overhead Door Company, St. Louis Composting, Rally House, and Dirt Cheap. Get your tickets now at KMOX.com/events.
I'm Debbie Monterey, and I see more clearly thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Make your appointment today at 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business.
You bet, and we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place...
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
A landscaping business?
Oh, we can print yard signs, t-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mo.
I like it.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5, exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
$147 DGS. This is weird doing the first hour without Amy and Chris.
It is.
Feels like it's the 2 p.m. Like he wanted to do Razor's Edge.
It's like the show
Not
is
there
halfway
yet.
over.
Not there yet. So coming up on opening day, which I am ridiculously excited for, Wheels and I are going to be broadcasting from noon to 1:30 at Cardinals Nation for Kegs and Eggs. Rach just let me know that there are 6 standing room only tickets left. So if you want to go to Kegs and Eggs, you need to go to KMOX.com right now and buy those tickets. There are more tickets available in the morning when Tom Ackerman is going to be interviewing Vince Coleman. There's a buffet. There's bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys and Anheuser-Busch and really cool kind of beer stein things that say 1041 KMOX. You can use KMOX as your promo code and save 20% on those tickets. So the Angels are banning smartphones in the clubhouse.
Yeah, so it's been talked about quite a bit in the baseball world because this is this is a bunch of grown men who are at work, and you're telling them that they're not supposed to have their cell phones at their lockers. So I mean, that's the clubhouse.
They're supposed to like leave them in their cars?
I think it's something like that, or they're left outside the room or something along those lines. So it's been reported a bunch of different ways. Like Ron Washington is their manager. He's super old school. Obviously, he's 72, so he's very old school in how he approaches the game. He's awesome, by the way. I don't know if you ever heard him speak. He's funny and he's great, smart guy. But apparently with him and some of the veteran players like Mike Trout and Kyle Hendricks have been enforcing this rule that you'll get fined $500 if you're caught with your phone in the clubhouse. And there's a lot of reaction to it in a couple of different directions. Like there's a lot of people like, yeah, they need to get back. These guys all need to get back to focusing on their jobs and not being on their phones and playing games and listening to music. But then as I heard a couple of former players put it, you think that matters for the Dodgers? Do you think they win or lose games based on this? Do you think the Yankees win or lose games based on having a cell phone or not having a cell phone in their locker room? Like to me, it's a lot of eyewash. It sounds good. People are like, yeah, you tell those young kids to focus. The problem isn't that. The problem is the Angels don't have any good players. They don't have enough good players. You can enforce this rule all you want. It's not going to make you any better. And I think that's been the most widely held opinion that I've heard from baseball people, from former coaches, front office people, retired players, even some current players. Like, man, that's not, I don't know. I think it's you try what you can try, I guess, right? When you're the manager of the Angels, you know what you have. So you know what your guys are probably going to be good at and what they're not. And they do have a fair number of young players that they're trying to kind of bring in and groom to be impact players. But I don't know, how does that hit you guys?
Any idea
in any workplace?
What most teams do? Like, I've never seen a phone in the dugout.
You can't have them in the dugout. Technology is banned in the dugout. You cannot have that during games. It would be really frowned upon if it was even in your pocket during batting practice.
Okay.
Like, that stuff is not supposed to
So
be out
leave
on
it
the
in your
field.
locker
It's in the clubhouse,
at
and that's where it stays.
Okay.
I'm sure some guys may bring it to the batting cages in the indoor ones.
Yeah.
Maybe if they are listening to music while they're doing stuff like that, because a lot of guys will put headphones on while they're hitting and have their music playing off their phone. So, like, that's not unusual. But when you're on the field, that stuff goes away. That's a rule. But think about it this way. These guys are at the ballpark from about 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon until midnight on a 7 o'clock day, 7 o'clock game. You're telling me that grown men with families and kids and friends and a life outside that room aren't ever supposed to be on their phones in the clubhouse? Ever texting, emailing, listening to music, ever? These are grown men, and that's why I wanted to bring it up, because this isn't a high school team. These aren't 17-year-olds with no real responsibility in the world. These are grown men at work. Could you imagine if we had a rule here in the building, you can't have your cell phone in the studio and you can't check it during commercial breaks?
Well, to be fair, there are plenty of big boy and girl jobs where you can't have your cell phone. I don't think it's like, I don't think that's the end all be all argument that they're adults, because there are plenty of adults that can't have their cell phone on the floor at work.
Well, depending on what they're doing, right?
Right.
I mean, like, you can't have it while you're doing your job, but when you're on a break, nobody's going to tell you you're a grown person. And like, I'm waiting tables and I have a 20-minute break. They're not going to be like, you cannot look at your cell phone. You should be focused only on serving food while you're here.
Right.
I mean, I think that's the point. Like, on the air, it's a little tougher to be like texting. But sometimes I might be getting breaking news, and I am on my phone during a segment because sometimes that's happening.
Yeah, I get no breaking news.
Yeah.
I get breaking news from you. I see it both ways. I'm trying to think when I don't have my phone. And the only times I don't have my phone or ever look at it is when I'm sitting vigil for hospice, because that's sacred. And if I am being interviewed, like I just did the Mostly Superheroes, by the way, can we post a link for that? Can you figure that out?
Yeah, we got it up on Friday.
Okay. Perfect.
Everyone can find it on Facebook.
When I'm on someone else's time, that makes sense. I'm not going to look at my phone.
Yeah.
But like mine's open here for the same reason. Like Phoebe might need me, or Andrew more likely might need to tell me something.
Sometimes we have to communicate with each other, and you can't use words when you're live on the radio.
I also liked Donald Trump takes a ton of crap for playing golf. I don't like Donald Trump, so I kind of want to jump on the bandwagon. But to be intellectually honest, which I try to be, and to be consistent, I said I didn't care how much Barack Obama smoked when he was getting in trouble for smoking by Michelle, or how much golf any president plays, because that's a really difficult job and they're never really off work. So if you need something, you need a whoopee, you take your whoopee.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would feel the same way about the baseball players. Keep it out of the dugout. But if you need it in the clubhouse and just to pass the time, I'm okay with that.
I'm just interested in what led to this action being taken. Like, did the players actually do something? Are they actually like not making connections with each other and communicating about team stuff because they're too buried in their phones? I think that's a fair question.
That's what the older players are saying, and that's what but older players, guys in their 30s,
right?
Right. But like that was the belief. So the way that some of these guys have put it is, in fact, it was Mike Trout saying that the young guys are, quote, interacting more, and I'm really fascinated by this because there's a time where it's too much, but they spend a lot of time in the clubhouse every day.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of time. And you're not always just like talking to someone else. You're not always like, hey, let's talk about what's coming up later today. Or like sometimes you're just killing 20 minutes.
How do I hit a curveball?
Yeah. Right. I mean, I don't know. I find it hard to believe that this is going to matter at all in the outcome of their games. And if it doesn't, then what's the point of the rule?
The biggest piano sale of the year is being held at the Muni starting Thursday, April 3rd through Sunday, April 6th. Hi, this is Kathy from Lacefield Music, and every year Lacefield Music supports the Muni by loaning the Yamaha pianos needed for all their coaching, rehearsal, and performance needs. In appreciation, the Muni hosts an annual sale of all the pianos used during the season. In addition to the loan pianos, a huge selection of new and used pianos will be brought to the Muni for you to shop. New Yamaha Grands, Uprights, Clavinovas, and Disclavier player pianos, plus new and used Zyler, Kawai, Baldwin, Roland, and vintage Steinways. All will be offered at rock bottom prices. The event is at the Muni starting April 3rd. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday are by appointment only. Sunday is open to the public. Call 314-860-2712 to make an appointment. That's 314-860-2712.
How many of you think taxes are going to go up in the future? And if they do, who will be hit the hardest? Maybe it's you, headed for retirement. You've been saving in that 401k or IRA, and that money has never been taxed. And Uncle Sam is looking at that account like it's a big, juicy steak. What can you do about it? Join the All Financial Group for their Taxes in Retirement Seminar, Tuesday, March 25th or Thursday, March 27th at Fleming's. They believe you can't have a retirement plan without a tax plan. Fund your retirement, not Uncle Sam's. Reserve your spot today by calling 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Warmer spring weather is right around the corner, and now is the time to plan your home's exterior renovation project. Banner Construction is booking now for homeowners to be first in line for beautiful James Hardy siding and Pella replacement windows. Beat the price increases and plan your project now. Visit bannerconstruction.com or call 314-569-1050 to get a free in-home design and estimate. Call 314-569-1050 and have a banner day.
The Budweiser First Pitch Breakfast, sponsored by Budweiser, is Thursday, March 27th, and features an unfiltered conversation with Cardinals Hall of Famer Vince Coleman. Your ticket includes a delicious breakfast buffet, bottomless mimosas, Bloody Marys, and an ice-cold Budweiser. Plus, you'll get 2 free tickets to Saturday's Cards-Twins game. Get 20% off your table now by using the code KMOX. Everything you need is at KMOX.com/events.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 2 o'clock, it is 57 degrees, feels like 51 downtown at the Arch. While President Trump has set an April 2nd date for extensive tariffs to take effect, they may be significantly reduced.
Trump administration officials are seemingly pulling back a bit, suggesting some industry-specific tariffs may not kick in on April 2nd. According to Bloomberg and the Wall Street Journal, tariffs on autos, pharmaceuticals, microchips, copper, lumber, and other products may not be enacted then. As for the twice-delayed 25% tariffs on all goods imported from Mexico and Canada, it's still unclear if they will take effect or be postponed again. Reciprocal tariffs will go into effect, but they'll be limited to a dozen or so countries. Stacey Lynn, CBS News, the White House.
The Education Secretary says Columbia University's changes put it on track to recover funding.
Education Secretary Linda McMahon says Columbia University is on the right track to recover federal funding frozen by the Trump administration. McMahon's comments on CNN follow Columbia agreeing to administration policy demands. The Trump administration pulled $400 million in federal funding over Columbia's handling of Israel-Gaza protests, demanding the university make 9 changes to its academic and security policies before restoring the money. Columbia said Friday it would make almost all the changes, including putting its Middle East department under new supervision and overhauling its rules for protests and student discipline. Julie Walker, New York.
What will President Trump's order calling for the dismantling of the U.S. Education Department mean for you and your kids? Stephanie Mahfoud, Dean of the School of Education at Webster University, says she has some concerns about who will enforce the rights of students under federal law.
The reason the Department of Education was started was to have a department that was fully focused on the education of students, and particularly those students who might be more vulnerable.
Early voting begins in St. Louis City tomorrow. Ben Borgmeyer is Democratic Elections Director at the board.
The only rule is you have to be a registered voter, and then you also have to have a photo ID.
There are 6 library locations to vote, in addition to the election office on North Tucker. He served 4 terms as mayor of St. Louis City. With the runoff election 2 weeks from Tuesday, does Francis Slay plan to make an endorsement?
I am not taking a position on it publicly. Personally, I'm taking a position as
but I'm not taking a public position on it.
The election between current Mayor Tashara Jones and Alderwoman Kara Spencer is April 8th. The KMOX Business Desk, airport lounges getting too full.
United Airlines will begin charging more to access its airport lounges. They've gotten so crowded since demand for travel skyrocketed. An individual club membership will now cost $750 a year, up from $650, or 94,000 reward miles a year. That's up from 85,000. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel's up 526 points to 42,512. Stalled vehicle 55 going south at Butler Hill. There's a crash on 55 south before Merrimack Bottom in the right lane. 44 west at Grand, right shoulder's blocked, and 55 north at Butler Hill. The previous stall was 55 south, 55 north at Butler Hill. The left shoulder is closed.
Clouds will continue to increase as we go through our Monday afternoon. A little impulse of energy coming by tonight, but it's no big deal. A breezy 62 for the high. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy skies, 44, but want to keep it dry. On Tuesday, all about sunshine, 69, partly cloudy and 44 Tuesday night. Wednesday, pretty day, sunny and 64 for opening day. Partly to mostly sunny skies, 70, but some rain showers moving in late in the day, and it will be on the wet side on Thursday night. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray for the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electrical. 56 feels like 50 at the moment. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
While you might not give a hoot about this week's space launch, you sure as sunshine care when your AC goes down. Well, good news, a Jerry Kelly per-producing tune-up is just 98 smackers right this very moment. $98.
JerryKelly.com. The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on 104.1 FM KMOX. It's kind of a mouthful. We may have to workshop that a little bit. 104.1 KMOX.
Yeah.
KMOX 104.1.
104.1.
I think we're supposed to say 104.1 KMOX.
Ah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What? Did you have
I was going to say, I think it kind of rolls off the tongue.
Does it?
104.1 KMOX.
Yeah, I like it. I think it sounds.
Well, I don't care what the two of you like.
I think it's smooth.
104.1. You say 104.1 or 104.1?
I thought it was point.
I mean, we can say
There's
point.
an email about it. I'll be able to find it. Hold on.
Oh, is there like a best practices email?
You never read your email.
I know I read them.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been a lot about this, and then I got to compartmentalize what I have to remember and what I don't.
Yes. Our buddy Patrick Clark was in from Fox 2 and Channel 11. He's going to be doing a little package on us during the 5 p.m. Fox 2. Started my day at Fox 2, so sort of bookending this one. I've said things similar to this, and I'm going to say it again. So I don't think I'm particularly tough or weak, but there's a certain kind of weak that I am. It's the kind of week that should never be a surgeon, even though I am basically that on TikTok. I had to be at Fox 2 this morning at 7:15, which meant I got up at 5. And that's not terrible for me. There are quite a few mornings I'm up that early. I don't sleep great. But the fact that I had to be somewhere and have coffee and have a nice T-shirt and be interviewed, then come in here and then do this stuff, like, if I had to do a surgery right now, I shouldn't do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I feel a little weird. I'm having a Red Bull and I'm feeling a little out there. So thank God I didn't become a surgeon. That's all I'm saying.
To be fair, the likelihood that you would have had to have done a television hit and then a radio show and then a surgery, that is low. So,
well, I don't know
what I'm saying.
I think I was always destined to be famous. So Razor's Edge.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about something kind of apropos of what we talked about in the last hour when you were talking about all these influencers who, this huge percentage of the information they're putting out there about ADHD or autism or what have you on TikTok is actually just misinformation, is not real. social media is just a breeding ground for this sort of thing, and everyone just wants to have their hook and have their reason why people watch them. And it seems like on TikTok especially, everyone has a theory, whether it's like, oh, this is color theory. These are the type of colors you should be wearing. Are you a winter? Are you an autumn? Here's what you'll look best in. Stuff like that. Someone came up with perhaps the stupidest one I've ever heard of, and this is called airport theory. Have any of you guys heard of airport theory?
I have, but I've not is it? I'll let you explain. I think I might. I have guesses about what it is, but I don't know for sure.
He hasn't heard.
I have. I've tried to piece this together.
It was in an email we sent you.
Yeah, it was all explained. And it was marked urgent. No. I saw this.
Please read.
Your eyes only.
I saw this organically myself on TikTok, and I thought, that is really stupid. And I just kept scrolling. But now it's a big enough of a thing that it was in my show prep this morning. I look at this website called Newser sometimes, and it's just like little condensed stories about what's going on. Airport theory is the theory that you only have to show up to the airport 15 minutes before your plane takes off.
Oh, I saw that
because
guy.
the theory is 15 minutes is all you need. Any earlier than that, and you are just wasting precious, valuable time sitting at your gate scrolling on your phone that you could be, you could be doing other things, right? So people out there have actually listened to this horrible advice. And there are many TikToks now of people missing their flight, seeing their flight take off because they didn't give themselves enough time to get through freaking TSA at the airport.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
That one seems pretty easy to avoid.
That guy is trying to ruin people's lives.
Don't listen to some rando who did it twice and see, it worked out just fine.
Yeah.
And
do that in Orlando when you're coming back from a Disney trip. And I wish you all the best of luck because you're not getting through security there on any kind of busy day in less than an hour.
So they're saying the goal is to limit valuable time spent waiting in the airport, streamline the experience, and maximize efficiency to get to your gate as quickly as possible. So just show up at the last minute and hope everything shakes out okay. All right.
So unpopular opinion, I like being in the airport. When we did like a 11-hour layover in Charlotte, that wasn't fun. But a typical get to the airport 90 minutes ahead of time, get you a Starbucks, get you some greasy food from Burger King. Like, I like it. When I fly, I'm doing something fun. I don't fly for work. So when I'm at the airport, I'm anticipating something fun. So I don't really mind being there early. Plus, it would cause me so much more upset to be running late
Oh my gosh.
than to be sitting there for an extra hour.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
What
completely.
are you doing in your life where you think that 1 hour changes your world?
Oh, I'm sure that guy could tell us.
Is he one of those guys? Is he one of those
I didn't see him, but that's the way
rise
I'm
and
picturing
grind
him.
bros?
I like that. I don't even know who created this theory, and yet we all have an
We
idea
hate
of
him.
this
I saw
person.
one guy doing this, and
Okay,
he was a
okay.
youngish guy, and he's like, I just don't want to waste time standing here when you could be doing what? Sitting in your apartment?
I don't like the way that guy talks.
Like, what's the difference?
It's
But also,
because-
like, telling other people to engage in risky behavior that could cost them hundreds of dollars because they missed their flights just because it worked for you twice is not exactly genius.
Yeah, and those are the only types of guys who are like, you need that extra hour of your life or whatever. And it's like, no, the extra hour is just a part of the traveling. It's built in because you
It's
got
a
to
travel
get there.
day. Yeah.
You know you got to get there 90 minutes ahead of time because if anything goes wrong, it's going to take an hour to fix. And if you're not an hour ahead of schedule, you're just going to miss your flight.
And if you have any grinding to do, if you could do it at your apartment or your house, why can't you do it in the airport?
Yeah, grind it.
Why can't you have your laptop out doing your work there?
Thank you, grind at the airport. I've been saying this for years.
I don't need all the noise in the background.
Airport's the best place to grind.
I already hate that person.
That guy cries a lot.
And it's a lot of people. It's like, because it's got to get back to that whole thing about why do people listen to random people?
Yeah.
Because we're all lost and we're all scrambling.
I was going to say,
to hold
has
on
there
to
been
in
an
this
epidemic of
unpredictable
people
life?
like, I'm wasting my life away in airports?
This is such a great point. We have seen so much more of this lately, I feel like, specifically on the internet. I think TikTok is really the cause of a lot of it, but I see it on other platforms too. Just because somebody says something, we just assume that they know what they're talking about. And it's like, no, you could just say anything. There's no sense of authority anymore. It's not like it used to be where if a guy was on TV or the radio and you'd hear it, you'd be like, well, he's on the TV or the radio. He must.
But even
he
that
must-
was a
but
bit
that's-
oversimplification.
No, but that's what I'm
right?
saying. Like that's we would assume you could safely assume if somebody was on the radio or TV talking about something, they must know what they're talking about because they got to that point. They crossed enough barriers to be able to get to that point where people were trusting them to say this stuff. But now that everyone can just make their own platform and start talking about whatever, there's no expertise required. There's no knowledge required. You just say whatever.
I have a dumb theory.
What's up?
If anxiety were like cardio, I would be ripped.
That is true.
Man,
that is fact.
You might be Mr. Universe.
Right? You know how like you look at your phone, you see how many steps you had?
Yeah.
If you look at your phone, it says like 3.5 panic attacks. You just burned 6,000 calories. You're like, okay, right on.
Dude, what if words were that? I'd be the Hulk.
You are the Hulk.
No.
What if
I am
Dave
not.
and Kevin were just huge? Just like absolutely just ripped.
Yeah, what if?
Can't even put a shirt on.
I just want to remind people back to the airline thing really quickly. Many airlines will cease boarding 15 minutes before your
Oh,
flight
yeah.
takes off.
Yeah.
So if you're getting to TSA, if you're getting to security 15 minutes before your flight leaves, you're not smart. And I'm not trying to brag. You know me, I'm like John Hancock. I don't like to talk, but I do have TSA pre-check. Okay.
Ooh, look at you.
I know.
Have you been to Japan more than once?
I have several times.
Didn't realize who were sharing the show.
You're a
I've
professional.
flown on a plane more than one time in my life.
Yeah, I think you are the expert when we listen to. 'Cause you've done this
But I'm
stuff.
saying, like, you still want to get there at least an hour early, even if you have all of these mechanisms in place. It's like, just get there and take that, like Dave said, just kind of take that time. Like Wheel said, factor it into your day. It's all good. It's a part of the travel day.
Eat a crisp sandwich from Burger King that's going to make you need to poop real bad on
Yes.
the plane.
Yum.
Just
That's
do that
what I like
early
to do.
enough so that's before the plane, right?
Chris says that's the most Andrew has talked in 6 months. He must dig the FM vibe.
I don't know about all that.
Yeah, I feel like he talks.
I don't know about all that.
There was a window there though where there was the recovery of the illness where it was a little bit quieter.
That's
Yeah,
true.
you're right.
Yeah.
There was like a solid 3 weeks where I was like, I should not speak
I wasn't
unless I'm
thinking
forced
3
to.
weeks. I was thinking more like about 5 days, but whatever.
I was here before Andrew today, and when you came in, your hair was completely wet.
It's not wet. It's okay. Well, it was I think probably still a little wet. It's this. So I have this shampoo conditioner combo that I'm using.
Yeah, we've all heard of that.
And so when I put it in my hair and then I rinse it out and then I dry it and everything, I usually air dry my hair. So it just ends up kind of sticky like that until I rub it out a few times. Sorry.
Yeah, ouch.
I just I have to run my hands through my hair.
Few
is what I
times, huh?
mean. Yeah, to and then it gets all the shape out. But
Is
but I
it a
kinda
leave-in
the-
conditioner?
I don't know what that is.
It's a conditioner that you leave in.
No, I don't think so because I rinse it out.
I'm just confused as to why it's having such an effect on your hair if you're rinsing it.
I don't understand it either. But I mean, I go with it. People
What's
seem
the
to-
brand? Well, drop the product. What's the brand?
The product is everybody knows it. It's
Is
at
it Garnier
Target.
Fructis?
No, it's at Target in a white bottle shampoo. It's very clean looking.
It's called white bottle shampoo and
Native.
conditioner.
It's called White Guy.
Oh, okay. So you're getting a little fancy with it. I
Native
could
is
see
the
that.
brand,
Native
yeah.
kind of has a little bit of a residue type thing going.
Yeah, and it leaves this kind of and people like it. They like the way that it looks. And the first time it happened, I didn't know it had happened, and people were like, "Hey, it looks pretty good." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about." And then I looked in the mirror and I saw it.
So to be
So I've
clear,
been
you
leaving
don't have any product in your hair right now.
No, other than conditioner that I rinsed out. I know. I haven't really been questioning it. It is a little strange to me, and I've been wondering, like, am I damaging myself somehow by leaving gunk in the hair or
I
whatever?
think you're okay.
Yeah, I think I'm probably fine. But if I were to like run my hands through my hair a bunch,
In
it'll
your
kinda
pantheon
clear
of problems you have, this one's probably pretty low.
Yeah, exactly.
You're probably
That's why,
okay.
that's why I haven't been worried too much about it.
I washed my hair with Irish Spring this morning, so I did.
Get it nice and shiny.
Like my hiney.
All right. Well, yeah. Anyway, moral of the story is don't listen to random people on TikTok. They
There you
don't
go.
know what they're talking about.
Mhm.
Okay.
St. Louis Composting presents The Sounds of Spring.
baby. The Cardinals take the lead as Albert Pujols comes through in the pit.
Obviously, the fans are the best fans in baseball. I got caught up so much into, the fans and the celebration, and everything that's going on with the Hall of Fame.
It wouldn't be opening day without a special tradition unlike any other. Please welcome the majestic hometown Budweiser Clydesdale.
Might leave the park. He did it. A grand slam, and it's 4-0.
And the pitch on the way.
There she goes. Way back. It might be. It could be. It is a home run.
Enjoy your outdoor space this spring with vegetable gardens and fresh landscaping. With St. Louis Composting, order online for delivery or pick up premium soil, compost, and mulch at any of our 9 locations. St. Louis Composting, growing gardens, making memories.
Ever feel like there aren't enough hours in the day? If you get busy or miss your favorite show, don't worry. With Rewind, available exclusively on the free Odyssey app, you can stream your favorite shows on demand. You know your day is better with us. Get the news that matters to you from the local voices you trust. No matter what you're up to, give it a try. To get started, download the free Odyssey app and search for your station. That's AUDACY.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business.
You bet, and we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place...
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
A landscaping business?
Oh, we can print yard signs, t-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mo.
I like it.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5, exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
When we started Neovitin back in 2009, we wanted to create a multivitamin that we would take ourselves. That's why we use quality ingredients in our Neovitin Original Formula multivitamin. With over 20 vitamins and minerals, along with our physician-formulated proprietary blend, you can be sure you are getting the highest quality daily nutritional support. Give Neovitin Original Formula Multivitamin a try for yourself. Find it at your local Schnucks, Deerbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
I'm Tom Ackerman, and welcome to this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. This month we are talking about colon cancer, and joining us is Dr. Will Chapman Jr., Siteman Cancer Center.
The best treatment for colon cancer is to prevent it from ever starting in the first place. And we feel that colonoscopy is the best way that you can prevent colon cancers.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu.
Need a lawyer? Onder wins. Call Onder Law at 314-9-million. That's 314-9 all zeros. Or go to onderwins.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
The Biz Dash returns for its 10th year as St. Louis's healthiest happy hour. All levels of runners and walkers welcome. Thursday, May 22nd at Energizer Park in downtown St. Louis. Create your company team today at stlbizdash.com.
The Chris and Amy Show, weekdays starting at 9 on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on 104.1 FM, 222. So I looked into my finances. Good news. I can officially retire at 92.
Nice.
And have 7 relatively good days.
Very good.
So, yeah.
Good.
Congratulations.
It's all paying off.
Yeah.
There you go.
Perfect.
Be weird if you got that kind of information. Like just very empirical. I've never seen this movie. I would never see it, but it shows up on my TikTok and it's kind of an intriguing setting for a movie. The one where Justin Timberlake,
oh yeah,
you pay with time. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, it's called In Time.
Yeah,
with,
it's intriguing.
Amanda Seyfried. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
I think you would like it if you watched it.
I never will. But thank you. I don't like Justin Timberlake.
That is completely fair.
Yeah.
He's fine like as a guest on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, he's a bit unlikable, I think is a fair way to put it.
Yeah.
This is going to ruin the tour.
Gonna ruin the tour.
He's a bit smack.
It's gonna ruin the tour.
He's a bit smackable.
That's awesome.
That's for sure.
That was pretty awesome when he said that.
Yeah.
I mean, like completely self-serving and
then when the cop goes, "What tour?" He goes, "The world tour."
Piece of crappy, but
Yeah.
Dave, you bringing that up and saying like, wouldn't it be interesting to have information like that? Like, hey, here's what's going on with you.
Yeah.
It reminds me of this story I saw over the weekend. This woman is a teacher and she had made a post saying like, yeah, I feel like I should start telling kids what grade level they're reading at, because then that might kind of shock them into, getting back on track, but we don't want to make the kids feel bad. And I'm going, you don't tell kids that they're reading below their grade level if they are. That is super, super weird. Like that seems like a great first step to kind of address this huge problem we're having with literacy. Yeah, just be like, hey, here's where you measure up instead of leaving people in the dark. And then you have situations where kids are graduating high school functionally illiterate and then turning around and suing like the state and everything because they've been completely failed by their teachers. I mean, that just seems like a great step one.
Yeah.
You read at a 5th grade reading level, but you're in 8th grade. Let's get back on track here.
Yeah.
Let's do everything we can to get you at the right level.
If you could get a report card.
Yeah.
There's some technology and it says, oh, look at this, Rach. As a daughter, you're a B-. As a partner, you're a C+. As a worker, you're an A this. Like, would you want it?
I would want it, but I'm not going to say that I would react to it well. Right. Just being honest.
Which would be on the report.
Just knowing myself. No, I'm the type of person where like in the past I've been like, I want to know. Like, of course I want to know. I'll be able to take the criticism and be able to fix it. But then whenever you do get like real criticism in life, sometimes it is really hard to swallow.
Okay,
that.
let's play a little game. You can swap out character traits. So you lose one you don't like and you add one that you wish you had.
Okay.
Okay. You can go first since you have the floor.
If I could get rid of some, I would get rid of my people-pleasing tendencies and I would just add on more assertiveness and more confidence.
Yeah.
I think that would literally change my entire life if I did that.
I feel you.
Right, you guys.
Wheels has absolutely nothing.
I have one that I would add. I can't think of one I'd have to get rid of.
He's frozen in place.
But the one I would add would fix a big thing. I would get rid of my forgetfulness. Or in other words, I would add memory or mindfulness or whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't want to
something like that.
I forget too much stuff. I want to
be
stop
more
that.
of a brain man.
Yeah.
What do you call them people?
Yeah. Like I can remember, what Lou Gehrig hit in 1927, but I will not remember to take out the garbage if I don't have an alarm on my phone.
But no traits that you wish you could just jettison.
I kind of, even the bad ones I kind of like.
Like what's your worst that you are kind of fond of?
Well, pretty loud.
Loves it.
Got a quick temper. I got that, but I don't direct
that
at
having a quick.
But
temper?
I do, but I don't mostly direct it at humans. It's usually at stuff.
They're gonna say just animals.
At fiends. No, like it's at.
It's not great.
It's like it's at traffic. It's not in someone's face screaming at them. I'm just mad at somebody's driving dumb in front of me. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not like I'm gonna get in your face and start a fight. It's not that.
Yeah.
I get mad at home. I'm not yelling at my dogs or yelling at the wife or anything like that. I'm yelling at my video games.
Andrew?
Well, my best quality is that I'm so quick to anger.
Coupled with how loud I yell.
Listen, dude. Hey, listen, there are times when that is actually helpful.
No, I
lose
actually
my stuff pretty quick, but I can slap someone really hard.
Yeah, listen, man.
I really sympathize with Kevin on the forgetfulness thing. I think it's more
Like reading your email.
with like reading the email. I could really use a better attention span, like the short-term attention span. You know what I mean? Everybody likes to make fun of me because I read while I'm watching something on my iPad while I'm playing a video game
While you're
I'm
driving
having a
your car.
conversation while I'm driving my car. And it's like I would really like a more focused attention span so I could let some of that stuff go.
Yeah.
I think that would be really great.
How do you feel about how quickly you get angry? Could you use more of it?
I mean, I'm not the slowest to anger, but I really, if I could just have like more of a hair trigger and just really go off about things at a moment's notice, I think that'd be really helpful.
I think mine might be exactly Rachel's.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I got a lot of them, but I think, the people pleasing, wrap it all up. That's kind of everything.
The Rockwood School District has openings and is looking for people who enjoy working with kids, child nutrition, cafeteria workers, custodial grounds and maintenance, bus drivers, the Adventure Club. All of these great benefits are included, and a positive, caring, fun work environment. Competitive pay, part-time and substitute positions available as well. Flexible hours and shifts. The Rockwood School District. rsdmo.org/jobs.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. One question I'm always asked is, how did you become the largest injury firm in the world with over 1,000 attorneys and $25 billion in verdicts and settlements? One way was our financial strength. Medical malpractice is the third leading cause of death in America. To prosecute a typical case costs up to $250,000 in case cost. We advance them all. Product liability cases can have similar costs with an army of lawyers on the other side. Automobile insurance companies have the resources to fight. Guess what? So do we. Many law firms simply may not have the financial firepower to work up your case the way you deserve. And we don't charge by the hour. No recovery, no fee. If you have a question about your case or wish to become a client, go to forthepeople.com on your mobile device or computer. 24/7. It's that easy. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Now it's time for Dave Murray's weather, sponsored by the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company, pennmutual.com/STL.
Clouds will continue to increase as we go through our Monday afternoon. A little impulse of energy coming by tonight, but it's no big deal. A breezy 62 for the high. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy skies, 44, but want to keep it dry. On Tuesday, all about sunshine, 69, partly cloudy and 44 Tuesday night. Wednesday, pretty day, sunny and 64 for opening day. Partly to mostly sunny skies, 70, but some rain showers moving in late in the day, and it will be on the wet side on Thursday night. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray for the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Are you considering life insurance? Penn Mutual's accelerated client experience makes applying for life insurance fast and easy. Ask your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL.
If you've tried and failed every ED treatment, there's another fix that could work for you. It's same-day surgery, it's minimally invasive, and is performed by South County urological physicians. Hundreds of men have come to us for this outpatient procedure that has a satisfaction rate over 90%. Interested? Call South County Urological, 314-843-8000. We have the fix when pills and devices no longer work. 314-843-8000 or southcountyurological.com.
There's nothing like it. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, and the timeless voice of Cardinals baseball.
A swing, and there's a high fly ball. That's in the deep left field. It might go. It's a gunner.
Now, you can experience every pitch, every play, every win in crystal clear FM sound.
Big fly, Alec Burleson.
You ask, we delivered. KMOX, now on FM at 104.1 FM.
Hi, I'm Amy Mark Scores. Are you dealing with knee pain? Maybe plantar fasciitis? I've got good news. You don't need to spend hundreds of dollars on insoles. You need Superfeet. Superfeet insoles come with high arches, low arches, or a more custom fit. I get the high arches. They cost $60. I've been wearing them for almost 20 years. Stop by any Fleet Feet location and they'll fit you up. St. Charles, Chesterfield, De Pere, South County, or O'Fallon, Missouri.
The Bernie Miklasz Report is sponsored by Salika Heating and Cooling, an American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 104.1 FM. It was on Fox News this morning. We'll be on again at 5 p.m. I say this for one reason and one reason only, to impress Bernie Miklasz, and he's here now.
Hey, man, I'm just impressed getting a chance to hang out with the DGS crew every day.
We're a fun group, aren't we?
You really are. Good music coming back, too, man. You had my head bobbing.
Yeah, that's Rach today. Rach is handling the music today.
Oh, man, I'm all up into that. That's great stuff. Love that.
So this has been an interesting off season for me because it is the most engaged I've ever been during an off season, the most I've ever wondered, the most I've ever read, the most I've ever talked about an off season. And you guys would probably say it's like the least eventful off season you can remember, right?
Well,
yeah. As far as like adding players, yeah. Go ahead, Wheels.
I was gonna say least eventful in terms of moves. I think maybe most interesting because of direction and the massive change that's happening at the top. I mean, this is Mo's last year, and there's a new boss coming in, and that's going to be a lot to process. And this was all the beginning of it. So there's not a lot. There weren't a lot of moves to break down, but there's a lot of like philosophy to talk about and what the heck they're going to do. And they're finally starting to let us in on some of those things.
You know, and Dave, as much as I've kind of lampooned the idea that this was a reset, only because most of the young players they have on the team have already been here. So yeah, some are going to get more at bats, more opportunity. I get that. But when they named Victor Scott the starting center fielder, which is the obvious choice, but we still didn't know if they were going to do it or not. I was fiddling around a little bit, and I'm looking at this. Like based on whatever day it is or whatever lineup that Ali Marmol puts together, the Cardinals will have like 5 regulars in the lineup that are 25 years or younger. And we have Walker, Wynn, Gorman, and Scott. That foursome, and Herrera too, sorry. That foursome averages exactly 24 years old. And if you add Nootbaar and Burleson and Pedro Pages to the list, that's 8 guys, and they still the 8 of them still are just under 25 years old in terms of average age. And I mean, I actually think that's pretty cool that they're going to be going into a season with this so much youth in the lineup. It's just now they're going to have to perform, but I just kind of like the young bloods getting a shot at this.
So if let's say Victor Scott went 0-for-100. I understand you got to do something.
Yeah.
Short of that, I hope they let them all play through whatever peaks and valleys they have.
Well, I was doing my weekly podcast called Seeing Red with Will Leach this morning. We do it every Monday, shameless self-promotion there. But we had a long talk about this because to your point, but I'm going to expand it. Like we know they are absolutely dedicated going into the season to giving Jordan Walker like a full run. Don't bother him. Let him work it out. Same with Gorman. But what happens if it's like near the end of May and Jordan Walker's hitting 130 or something? What happens if it's June the 3rd and Nolan Gorman's striking out like 39% of the time? Are we sure that they will not send them to the minors? I mean, that's going to be one of the big questions. And listen, I hope it's not even relevant.
Right.
Because I hope both those guys do well, believe me. But what happens if they don't?
I mean, it's a legit question. And I mean, that it remains to be seen whether what the plan is what's executed, right? Because Ali, I thought Bernie said the best you can say about Victor Scott and Matthew Liberatore specifically. Hey, listen, it's your job. You're not pitching for your job. It's not an audition. Matthew Liberatore, you're a starter. Go start. Don't be looking over your shoulder. Victor Scott, you're the center fielder. You got to play. You're going to be out there. It's your job. And I love that message, and I want them to stick with it, because if you don't get these answers this year, you're doing this again next year.
Right. And I think one of the reasons, the only reason that I invoke the names of Walker and Gorman is simply because, even though, listen, man, the real baseball starts Thursday, but I think we all were hoping that Walker and Gorman had a really positive spring and they would go into the regular season with more confidence and some momentum. And unfortunately, like the exact opposite happened. So I just hope they can get off to a really good start, because, man, there is going to be so much pressure on those two guys. They are so important to this offense, whether in terms of determining whether it's going to be any good or it's going to be bad again.
It's also going to determine what course Chaim Bloom's going to have to pursue in the future for middle of the order bats.
Yep.
If those guys don't show that they're going to be capable of hitting somewhere in the top 5, you're going to need those guys. You're going to have to go get them, because the only ones that, I mean, you have guys that can do it now, right? You have Nootbaar that can hit in that group.
Yeah.
Wilson Contreras is legit. Donovan can hit in that group, but you're very limited in terms of guys that are impact power hitters. There's one guy that is proven at that, and that's Contreras. And if you're not going to get that from within, you're going to have to go pay for it.
Okay. Question.
Yep.
We are the Cardinals. We love the Cardinals. We have affection for Burley, and we're rooting for Gorman. Let's change the scenario. We're not St. Louis. We're an opposing team. You guys are sportscasters for the Orioles or something. When you see the young Cardinals coming in, what's your honest assessment?
I would say that there's a lot of talent there, but they haven't put it together. And like a lot of young hitters, they struggle with consistency. And if they can develop a lot more reliable consistency, I would say watch out if that happens. But of course, that's got to happen.
Yeah, see, that's exactly how I look at the team. That's how I look at every team in baseball. I try to do that, every team from an outside view. And I try to trust not only my own eyes, but opinions of people that don't live here, as well as people that are here too. I think you're seeing a team that has a super high ceiling and a pretty low floor. There's a big range of risk with this team, because there isn't a lot of certainty, right? There aren't a lot of guys where I know exactly what that guy is. There's maybe 3 of those guys. And one of them would have been Sonny Gray, and his velocity's down and he's behind. Thankfully, he's saying he's not hurt, but he's behind, and it's a little concerning that you're this close to opening day, and he's saying, the ball's not coming out of my hand the way that I like. But he would be one of the certainties. And if some of those certainties falter or get hurt, there's an argument for this to be like 2023, where you're a 90-loss team. There's also the argument, though, that if even a few guys start to reach some potential, you could be 5, 6, 7, 8 games better than you were last year. So there's a wide range of possibilities.
Which makes it exciting.
Because like Jordan Walker's upside is still high, no matter what you think of his performance. When you look at the things that he does, he's a well above average runner. He's got an excellent elite level throwing arm, and he hits the ball as hard as Aaron Judge. He's got the same bat speed as guys at the very top of the list of hitters like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Aaron Judge. So if you have that beginning and you can start making more consistent quality contact, you have the ability to be 30 home run guy that drives in a lot of runs. But ability is one thing, performance is another. And that's Gorman, where we're at right now.
And Gorman is the same way in that if you look at his barrel rate or his sweet spot rate, and I know that's gobbledygook to some people, but that's the best contact you can make. It's off the charts how good it is. But the problem is, actually making the contact. My friend Joe Sheehan, who I've known for a very long time, he has his own newsletter. I learned a lot of baseball in terms of how to analyze teams from him. I was reading his power rankings, and he came out with what he thought of the Cardinals today. And he said, and this has, listen, he predicted 82 wins. But what I'm going to talk about is real quick is that what he sees in this offense. And he even said, listen, I look at all the young talent they have. I look at all these guys, age 23, 24, 25, maybe a couple of them 26. And he said, the Pittsburgh Pirates, and there's some other teams, he said, have been awful for 10 years, and they've been drafting early in the first round for 9 or 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the Cardinals have like a better collection of young hitters. And he said they haven't done it yet. He said, but why? He even asked himself a question. He said, why am I feeling like optimistic about this set of young hitters? Like Joe Sheehan, who's not a Pollyanna at all. I mean, he's the opposite of that. He actually thinks the got something going offensively. So I thought that was an interesting neutral view.
Yeah. And I know that, I listen to the guys on MLB Network Radio quite a bit. Some of the guys like CJ Nitkowski and Ryan Spielborgs are former players. Others like Jim Duquette are former front office people. And there are a lot of really smart voices there. And it's a little mixed, but they all see what we're talking about, right? They all see, because look, when you look at guys like Walker and Gorman, for example, they were viewed as first-round draft picks by everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't like, oh, the Cardinals took a flyer. These were guys that everybody in baseball said, yep, those guys are amongst the 25 or 30 best players in the draft in that year. They've both been top 100 prospects. Jordan Walker was a top 10 prospect. That's not based on anything that's not a Cardinals evaluation.
Yeah.
That's neutral third parties. That's Baseball America. And it's, by the way, all different types of ratings. Some of them analytics, some of them eye tests, some of them scouts, some of them just asking around and polling people. So the talent is clearly there.
Yeah. So, Bern, I don't know how well you knew Brian McKenna, but being in the same field, I just want to give you a chance to say something if you wanted to.
I knew him very well for a long time. And listen, I believe in total candor here. One of the regrets, just a horrible, horrible loss of a man who's so full of vigor in life and vitality, and someone with a generous heart and a generous soul and lots of fun. But I was sort of beating myself over the weekend, and this is not about me, but I just wanted to be, straight up. Well, I really regret that I did not stay in better touch with him over the last several years. I mean, when he came out on the other side of cancer, I should have been reaching out to him, but I get so caught up in the daily grind. And I'm like, there's a dude I really loved and a dude I enjoyed working with, and I enjoyed everything about him. I love his self-deprecating humor. He brightened any room that he walked into. He did. He really did. He's one of those guys. And I feel really bad that I didn't spend more time with him, because it just shows you once again, I mean, this guy fought like hell and he beat cancer. And this is such an unfair, totally awful way for him to go. Someone who had the toughness to overcome cancer the way he did. And I wish I would have been, with him more, just a little bit here and there, spend more time with him, because I treasured our friendship. But I get too caught up in my own work, and it's actually one of the worst habits I have.
Yeah,
so,
buddy, there are a dozen people on my list, at least, that you think I really, really owe them a call. I really owe them a night out. I owe them to sit with my undivided attention and catch up over the last 5 years. So you're not alone.
Yeah, I love that. I love Brian McKenna, man. Just a very unique individual.
Yes.
And I know you guys loved him obviously a lot. And I know he's been kind of a regular or semi-regular on your show too. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Tell us about Saliga before we let you go.
Yes, League of Heating and Cooling's been helping out St. Louis since 1927. I just love that. I say that all the time, but think about it, man. It's 2025. They're going to be celebrating 100 years in 2 years, and it's the same family. I mean, the Saligas have continuously owned this since 1927. Dan Saliga, my friend, is the current owner operator of the family business. They're American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. Listen, they've taken care of the Micklases for 16 years. Things I can vouch for without hesitation is their honesty, their promptness, their reliability. You don't have to worry about them not showing up, things like that. When they come in your home, they're as highest professional standards you can imagine. They're pleasant to deal with. They're very classy. And we have found many times that they will look to actually save us money instead of trying to upsell us into, maybe buying a bigger piece of equipment that we might need in 2 years, but we don't need yet. So they get the across the board A+ grades from us. And I couldn't be more genuine about that. I love Saliga Heating and Cooling. I would advise you to go to SaligaHeatingandCooling.com and take a look at the Priority Club. It is a maintenance program. You'll save money because it extends having maintenance a couple years on your equipment, a couple times a year, I should say. It'll save you money because it extends the lifetime of your equipment. And also you got the peace of mind knowing everything's safe and working well. So take a look at SaligaHeatingandCooling.com for all the services and for specifically look at the Priority Club. Needless to say, they can handle any type of job. It's SaligaHeatingandCooling.com.
Hey, St. Louis, this is Ben Barnett, board-certified master arborist and owner at Timberline Professional Tree Care. As a local small business owner for the past 24 years, I always do my best to shop local and support our community. Recently, 2 of the largest tree contractors in the region have sold to out-of-town investment groups. This means that the new owners of these companies are not invested in quality, customer satisfaction, or safety, except for how it affects their bottom line. Timberline Professional Tree Care was founded in 2001 and is focused solely on giving you, the customer, the safest, highest quality product while providing the best customer service before, during, and after the job. I've poured my heart and soul into tree care for the past 24 years, and we aren't going anywhere. When it comes time to take care of your trees, I ask that you shop local and call me, Ben Barnett, at Timberline Professional Tree Care, 636-479-7475, or online at stltreecare.com.
The KMOX First Pitch Breakfast presented by Budweiser is Thursday and features an unfiltered conversation with the Cardinals Hall of Famer Vince Coleman. Tables are on sale now and include a delicious breakfast buffet, bottomless mimosas, Bloody Marys, and an ice-cold Budweiser. Plus, you'll get 2 free tickets to Saturday's Cards-Twins game. Start this unofficial holiday with KMOX, Budweiser, Overhead Door Company, St. Louis Composting, Rally House, and Dirt Cheap. Get 20% off your table now by using the code KMOX. Everything you need at KMOX.com/events.
St. Louis, the wait is over. Your Battlehawks return home on Sunday, April 6th. Get your tickets now at UFLBattlehawks.com and go full battle rattle. The St. Louis Battlehawks home opener, Sunday, April 6th. All tickets available at UFLBattlehawks.com.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Will new tariffs impact small businesses? Rising costs and economic uncertainty can hurt your bottom line. But with Swish Funding, your business can stay strong. We offer fast, flexible funding solutions from $10,000 to $2 million for working capital, cash flow, and more, and as little as 24 hours with no collateral needed. If your business earns at least $50,000 per month and has been around for over a year, you could qualify today. Go to swishradio.com and use code RADIO. SwishRadio.com, code radio.
Tom Ackerman here. Busey Bank and Building Community takes us across the river to Madison County to recognize Refuge for Kids for the support they offer children and caregivers who've experienced trauma through abuse, neglect, and violence. By providing counseling, support, and education, Refuge for Kids changes the lives of children, their families, and the community for generations to come. Learn more about how you can get involved at refugeforkids.org. That's refuge, the number 4, kids.org.
This is Rob Schwartz, Senior Vice President of Busey Bank. At Busey, we believe everyone in our community has a part to play in providing a safe surrounding free from trauma for all of us. Learning more about Refuge for Kids is a start. For 10 years, Refuge has provided families the tools they need to heal and build resilience. A resilient community is a stronger community. That's what building community is all about. Join Busey. Get involved as we continue building the communities we call home.
.251 DGS 1041 FM. If you're not listening there, I don't know what to say to help you. 1120 still exists and always will. So if you are out of town, like, was it Dave? One of our consistent streamers is a couple 100 miles out of town and listens to AM. You can still do that. You can listen to 102.5 HD if you're the only genius that ever figured out how to work an HD radio. You can also download the Odyssey app. You can podcast us anywhere, but we're really hoping that your new home will become 104.1 FM. Wheels, I wanted to give Bernie the chance to say something about McKenna there, but because of that, we didn't talk any blues.
Oh, my God.
We need to talk a little blues.
We should. I mean, they've been on this roller coaster for a number of years now, and earlier in the year, it felt like and looked like a lot of the same old, even with Jim Montgomery there. But the last month, it's leveled off finally, and the level is the high level, right? They have been absolutely phenomenal. So they won both games over the weekend, 4-1. Teams they should beat, but still, they've moved into the last playoff spot. They haven't locked it up because teams behind them still have more games to play. So they've got room there's room for that deficit to go away. But right now they're on a 7-game winning streak. I want to go back to when this kind of started, but like around February 8th is when it started. So they were 24-26-5 coming coming into play on the 8th of February, right? So since that time, it's 12-3-2.
I don't want to say it.
That is,
but you know what it reminds me of?
That is, I'm sorry, 13-3-2. I want to be 13-3-2. So only 3 regulation losses in a month and a half. They've been playing great. Now, again, a lot of work to do. Games in hand for Vancouver and Calgary and all that can be made up. But they're in that spot now, and they just deserve a lot of credit for this. And a lot of this, what's happening in this 7-game winning streak, is without Colton Parayko. That's your number one defenseman. He's been down with an injury. He's out until the end of the regular season at least, and it hasn't fazed them at all. They've been playing just great overall 5-on-5 hockey. They're +10 on the goal differential, and teams that are in that range are playoff teams. So they seem to have finally turned a corner that's sustainable, which to me is the bigger news, right?
How many games left?
10. They have 10 games left. Calgary has 13 games left. Vancouver has 12 games left. Utah has 12 games left. Those are the teams that are immediately behind them. So, again, it's a 4-point lead right now, but it may not even be a lead if Calgary were to win all of those games. But still.
What do you think of the tournament so far?
I have not watched almost at all. And I got to tell you, I know I put this on the rundown. This is the least I've ever followed college basketball in my life. The tournament, I've had the games on in the background at times over the weekend, like when I was laying on the couch feeling like I was dying from the shingles vaccine.
Oh, yeah, we need to talk about that, too.
I had it on in the background sometimes, but I wasn't really paying attention. I had it on in the background when I was doing some stuff on the computer and all of that. And it's been a pretty good tournament. The big dogs are left, and I think that has a lot of people disappointed. There are a lot of people that are saying that NIL has killed Cinderella. Like, you're not going to see those Cinderella teams because the good players on those teams are now transferring to make money at the bigger schools, and they don't stick around, which takes away a little bit of that fun because it's all big boys right now in the Sweet 16, which should make for an entertaining Sweet 16. None of that is even why. Like, a lot of people, when they fall away from a thing, they blame that thing for them not liking it anymore, right? I don't like the NFL anymore because of this. The league changed. I don't like college sports anymore, but I still like college football. It's got the same transfer portal and the same NIL, so none of that has anything to do with it. I think I just changed.
Yeah.
The amount of time I spend on other things. So I don't have as much time just for sports as I used to. Well, baseball's not taking a hit. Certainly neither college or pro football is taking a hit. I love the NBA and the NHL too. College basketball's kind of been the one, and it's just been by default. It's not really been a choice.
Phoebe's home for spring break, and we went to ITAP, Epic Pizza down in Soulard.
Oh, yeah?
To watch both Mizzou and Kansas win. That's what we went there for. That's why we were there.
Well,
Tell you guys about Ophthalmology Associates and the Cornea and Laser Vision Institute. My doctor, and I would call him a friend now, Dr. Greg Birdie, his longtime partner, Dr. Malhotra, Andy Royer, Brusati. We now have Sam Berry, who is our latest cornea surgeon. So you are very likely, if you avail yourself of ophthalmology and you go there for an exam, just an exam, you need glasses, you're going to talk to a doctor who very likely did surgery earlier that day or is going into surgery later on that day. I think that's impressive. Maybe you don't. I find it incredibly impressive. And now that I'm a third-year surgical resident on TikTok, I can tell you that I really understand the difference between an optometrist, who is an eye professional, and an ophthalmologist, who is a medical doctor who takes care of the eye. You can't do better for LASIK. You can't do better for cataracts. You can't do better for a good old-fashioned exam to get yourself some glasses or contacts. 314-966-5000 or yourEyeDoc.com.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan. If you have exposed brick or stone in your garage, basement, or fireplace, this would be a great time to call Morelli Tuck Pointing. The Morelli team can work 12 months a year on the inside of your home. Tuck pointing is the removal and replacement of old and missing mortar on a wall or chimney. When you tuck point your home, you strengthen your structure, you prevent water damage, and you add value to your property. The Morelli team is expert at matching the color of the new mortar to the color of the old mortar. And I know because the Morellis have tuck pointed patios, walls, and chimneys at 2 of our homes here in St. Louis. Morelli is a recipient of the Better Business Bureau Torch Award and the Angie's List Super Service Award every year since 2005. You can also research their reviews on the Google, Angie's List, and Better Business Bureau websites. Morelli Tuck Pointing at 314-645-1387 or MorelliTuckPointing.com.
One thing I appreciate about Schnucks is just how consistent it is. I know that the deli is going to have what I need. I know that the Schnucks butcher is going to have what I need. If I need to pick up a cake or a pie for a family get-together or something, I know the Schnucks bakery is going to have something for me. They're just consistent. The price is right. The variety is right. And I just know when I go to Schnucks, I'm going to be able to find what I'm looking for. Plus, when I use my Schnucks Rewards app, I earn 2% cash back on every single purchase. That's something you can download for free today if you haven't already. Just go to your app store and search for the Schnucks Rewards app. 2% cash back. Pretty awesome. You can also get personalized savings based on what you typically buy at Schnucks, plus tons of other digital offers and coupons on top of that. You can even order curbside pickup or delivery straight from the app. And Schnucks has just recently lowered the prices on over 2,300 items across the store. Those are the everyday savings you can count on when you're shopping at Schnucks.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TRAVEL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TRAVEL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TRAVEL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Mid-America's most trusted voice for news. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 3 o'clock, it is 57 degrees downtown at the Arch. Top Trump officials, including Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Vice President J.D. Vance, allegedly discussed details of a highly sensitive operation to bomb Houthi targets in Yemen in a group chat that inadvertently included Jeffrey Goldberg, the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic. President Trump was asked about it during an economic event at the White House.
I don't know anything about it. I'm not a big fan of The Atlantic. To me, it's a magazine that's going out of business. I think it's not much of a magazine, but I know nothing about it.
This just in.
Mayor Tashara Jones has named a new director of personnel. According to a news release, Mayor Jones named John Unnerstall as personnel director by emergency appointment. Unnerstall has served the Department of Personnel for 18 years, most recently as deputy director. He was also on the short list of candidates for the position when Mayor Jones named Sonia Jenkins Gray in September of 2022. Unnerstall's position is not permanent. His appointment will last only 20 business days. How's the air you're breathing? Right now, the air quality index in St. Louis is considered good.
The Missouri Department of Natural Resources reports their data to airnow.gov that includes ozone and particulate matter levels. Josh Vanderveen is the state's air quality analysis section chief. He says the air pollution readings this year have been mostly normal, with one exception in the past couple of weeks.
Potentially some transport of particulate matter from Oklahoma and Texas, where there were some fires going on, and in addition to those, very high winds, and kind of transporting some of that pollution up Missouri's way.
Missouri DNR numbers show nitrogen dioxide levels are currently in the moderate range, which may affect some people, but the air quality is considered acceptable. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
The KMOX Business Desk, stocks rallied higher on market hopes that reciprocal tariffs set to take effect on April 2nd on U.S. trading partners will be more limited in scope. Jason Brooks has details.
Investors are optimistic about limited tariffs following a Wall Street Journal report that some industry sectors could be exempted from the tariffs, and Bloomberg reporting that some nations may be excluded. CNBC reports that Hyundai is going to announce during a White House ceremony a $20 billion investment into its U.S. manufacturing operations, including a $5 billion steel plant in Louisiana that will make next-generation steel for Hyundai's electric vehicles produced at the company's factories in Alabama and Georgia. Hyundai CEO Jose Munoz has told Axios that the best way to avoid U.S. tariffs is to increase localization.
Let's get an update of the St. Louis Business Index now to Stifel's Scott Link. Scott?
Good afternoon, everyone. As just mentioned, optimism around the President Trump's latest tariff plan led markets higher as it starts the week with the Dow Jones surging 597 points to 42,583. S&P 500 was up 100 points to 5,767. The NASDAQ rose 404 points to 18,188. And the Bloomberg St. Louis Index was up 32 to 1,519. For stocks of local interest, the biggest gainers today were Caleres up $1.10 to $17.60. Esco Technologies rose $6.98 to $168.42. And the leading decliners were Bayer off 46 cents to $6.05. And Anheuser-Busch InBev dropped $1.25 to $61.53. Finally, Stifel Financial was up $3.91 to $102.18. This has been Scott Link, Senior Vice President of Investment at Stifel, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. For more information on Stifel, please visit our website at stifel.com.
Partly sunny skies on this Monday, but clouds will tend to be on the increase as we push our way through the afternoon. It's breezy. It's not really windy. 62 for the high. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy skies. A little impulse of energy coming by, but it looks dry. 44 for the low. On Tuesday, lots of sunshine, 69 degrees. Partly cloudy on Tuesday night, 44. Wednesday, sunny and 64. Opening day on Thursday. Right now, it continues to look pretty good. Partly to mostly sunny skies, 70 for the high temperature. However, there will be some showers moving in late in the afternoon into the evening, and it will be wet on Thursday night with showers and the possibility of some thunderstorms. So got to play fast to get this game in. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray for the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by the easiest way to park on game day with iParkit. iParkit has the best game day parking garages in St. Louis. Two iParkit garages are on Clark Avenue, right next door to the ballpark. Download the iParkit app and drive in and out using only your license plate. Use iParkit for convenience and peace of mind. 57 in St. Peters and Florissant, 58 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
That is the strangest feeling.
Yeah.
When,
when
the
you
mic's
talk,
not on.
when you're talking to a dead mic.
yeah, because you're expected to hear yourself in your
Yeah.
ears, but you don't.
I just went, welcome back. And it's like this.
Yeah, and it always sounds like just a noise, like a boogaboo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that a lot.
So we are live on 104.1, which eventually is just going to become where you go to listen to KMOX and Cardinal Baseball and the DGS. But today is the first day. You only get one chance to have the rollout, so we're excited about it. They bought us a cake and Rosalitas, and
does this mean we get this every day now?
They gave us that big bonus. I'm sure you guys got that.
Yeah, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Really
So-
life-changing amount of money.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So no, we're very excited, having a good time. Tonight we have a little soiree going on for our partners and clients. So we'll be leaving here and going there. I'm going to get hammered drunk and make a spectacle of myself.
Well, dang it, I'm not going to be there in time.
I'll wait for you. I'll keep the real troublesome shenanigans to a minimum until you get there.
All right, cool. I'll be there around 6:30.
Okay, not to beat a dead horse, not that the Cardinals are ever a dead horse, but I find this interesting because we have been like talking about Cardinals opening day lineup ad nauseum, and I thought I had it down. You thought you had it down. Tonight is the last spring training game before the season opener on Thursday.
Yep.
And it's a little different.
It is. So Derek Gould tweeted this out because obviously they're in Memphis, so they'll be taking on the Memphis Redbirds tonight. So a lot of the guys that were just in camp will be facing the team that's going north to be the major league club. But this is typically when you're going to see the regular lineup, like the one you're planning on for opening day. And if this is the look, I'm a fan, man. I don't want to get too dorky into the lineup details, but a lot of the stuff that we just talked about on the Gas House Gang today, a lot of the things that Bernie and I have talked about and Matt Pauly, we've all been talking about for a month now, are reflected in what we're seeing today. So Nootbaar's leading off, which I love, on-base guy with some pop, and he can run. Contreras hitting second. I think that's the thing in baseball now that teams need to be paying attention to. And it's not new. It's been going on for a long time. But teams hit their best guy second. Mike Trout bats second. Aaron Judge batted second a lot. Like, the best guy tends to bat second. That's, Mookie Betts hits there after Shohei Ohtani. Oh, the Dodgers are a weird example.
Is there a scientific reason that I'm going to find boring?
More at-bats. So when you're batting second, you get more at-bats in a game than you would hitting third. But it also adds to, like, the guys behind you having a chance to drive you in because you're a really good hitter.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that plays into it. But Nootbaar, Contreras, and then Brendan Donovan hitting third, which is not traditional because he's not a power guy, but it continues. Your three best on-base guys are 1, 2, 3. This is what I've been preaching for a long time. Arenado's hitting fourth. I don't like that, but I realize that's going to be the case until Arenado doesn't hit because he's a veteran. I would flip him and Herrera personally, but right now it's Arenado fourth, Burleson fifth, Herrera sixth. I would flip Arenado and Herrera. I think Herrera's a better hitter. But anyway, that and then Walker, Scott, and Wynn to round it out. So Wynn's batting ninth, which something we've talked about. It takes some pressure off of him. He's not an on-base guy, so you don't want him at the top. He's had a rough spring, and he's slumping, so you want to maybe take some pressure off and go this way. I think that would be a great opening day lineup.
Am I high? Like, I thought I remembered Wynn doing very well last year at hitting.
He did, but it was in spurts, right? So he really struggled in September, as an example. He did not finish well, but some of it was he was probably a bit tired because it was his first full major league season, and he played a lot. I mean, I can't remember the exact number. I think he played like 150 games. So, I mean, he played a lot more than he ever had. But if you look at how it went down, his best numbers came when he was hitting near the bottom of the order, right? So Bernie and I have talked about this, which is why we believe the things that we do about where you are in the batting order and why he doesn't really fit there. Normally, again, at the top, you want on-base skill, and right now, that's not in his repertoire.
Yeah.
He doesn't walk enough, and he swings at pitches that he shouldn't, so it makes it a little bit tougher. But when you look at, like, where what numbers he put up batting first last year, he hit 248, and he was about 5% below league average. But when you look at him hitting the bottom third, he hit closer to 300. And again, some of it's the timing of when those things happened. But his overall season last year was fine, and for a rookie his age was really good. But he tailed off at the end, and I think it was very clear that there were some things that teams were figuring out about him.
Yeah.
And now he's just got to adjust back. I think he's fine. I love this guy. I think he's a future all-star.
Yeah.
But you're not always going to develop in a linear way.
Yeah.
And sometimes you play to what matters, what works best in the moment.
For example, I'm sure you would agree that our own Rachel Zimmerman is a pro.
Yes.
Brings the cleats to the field every day.
Yes.
She's never going to forget something important.
Not once.
Like earrings.
No.
Oh my gosh. We have a big day today. We have the client happy hour tonight. And
it's an earring soiree.
It's the kind of thing, if your ears are pierced and then you forget your earrings for the day, you're like, I feel crazy. Like that was supposed to complete my look, and now my look is not completed.
Did you have them sitting out?
I did. And the thing is, I'm going to change my sweater into a different sweater like for the happy hour. What's that?
That's like magic.
I'm going to look different than I
Snap of
look
the
right now.
fingers.
Later, I'm going to look different. But I was like, oh, okay. Because I had tried that on them. Like, I'm going to wear a different sweater to work. I'm not going to put my earrings in yet because I don't want them to get all twisted around when I'm changing clothes. And then by the time I got dressed for work, I forgot to put the earrings in.
I'm glad you said something because we've all been talking.
I know, man.
I was like, damn, dude.
We
Rach
should have
forgot
said all that
earrings.
behind her back.
Yeah, we were like, Rachel looks crazy. I can't put my
I
finger
told
on it.
Andrew, I'm like, guess what? I have the same amount of earrings as Rachel today.
I was like, no.
No, it just, do you guys have anything like that where if you forget a little thing, it's like, well, the whole thing is ruined? Like
my watch bracelet combo.
Oh, yeah.
Because I never wear them with my hoodies, but I always wear them with my short sleeves.
Okay.
And if I go out even on a Saturday to Schnucks, short sleeves with nothing on my wrists, I feel very naked. Yeah.
What about you, Wheels? You got any outfit completers that you are prone to forgetting from time to time?
Nah.
No.
You can see, I mean,
Of course he doesn't.
I have a shirt and I have pants and I have shoes. It's pretty much.
Yeah, you're not much of an accessorizer, I guess.
We should get him to accessorize.
That's pretty much it.
We should give him some gear.
The only things I'd be mad about if I left home without him would be my wallet and my phone.
I'm surprised you don't wear a watch.
I don't like things on my wrists. Man,
It gives you something to play with.
Yeah,
That's
exactly,
important to have.
exactly. I don't like things on the wrist. I used to have like a baseball chain, like a gold chain with a little baseball thingy on there, and then
cool.
the chain broke. I think I'm not even kidding you. I didn't take it off for about 20 years.
Damn.
Because I got it in college and I just showered with it, never took it off.
Mhm.
And then the chain broke and I haven't worn it since. Because
We should get Kevin.
I've never remembered to just go get a new chain.
We should get Kevin a Jesus piece, like a real big cross, like the rappers wear. Big gold
No,
chain.
I want a clock. I want to be like Flava Flav. Then I know what time it is.
Why don't you have a watch? Haven't you seen my clock that I wear around my neck?
Did you see my enormous neck
enough.
clock?
People always know I know what time it is.
And what's a bathroom divorce?
Okay, so this is kind of like people have bedroom divorces where they don't sleep in the same bed anymore. Like you're happily married, you just have accepted the fact that we don't sleep well in the same bed. People are doing this with bathrooms now. They don't want to, know what the other person is doing bowel wise. They don't want to smell anything. They don't want to deal with their partner's mess. So they've just started. I mean, I would love to live in a home that has more than one bathroom personally. Like that sounds like a dream to me. This is for rich people, clearly.
Yeah, if you start a relationship with having separate bathrooms already, like that's not a real relationship. That's an important part, I think, of the growing together of being in a serious committed relationship is sharing a bathroom and figuring out how that works.
Taking each other into your fart confidence.
Yes, it's a part of if you never have to grow through that stage, I think that's going to seriously harm your if you start off on a position like, yeah, come move in with me. I've got 6 bathrooms in my house.
You should open a counseling service, and that should be your main thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you guys this question.
Couples counseling, but when they sit down, instead of 2 chairs, it's 2 toilets. Have a seat.
Emily is asking, where is Andrew in relation to all of you? Is he in the
All right.
window behind
I am
Jake?
actually,
Watch
I'm
this.
actually in Edmonton, Alberta,
Watch
Canada.
this. See that camera? So if I go this way, there is Rachel.
Hi.
If we turn around a little bit more, there is Dave.
Hi.
And then off to the side, there's Andrew's little booth. It's actually a very large booth.
Yeah, he's got the biggest room.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So then we're all kind of
I need
in
a lot of space to graze.
Yeah. It's great.
We should. That was fun when we were like, "Hi, hi." We should start the show with that every day. Like, I'm Rachel. Like, I don't know what we would say. It'd be like cheerleading.
So
like,
should have Kevin walk. We should just have Kevin walk the camera around the room. That's fine.
Yeah, I'll just wear it out like a GoPro. That'd be fun.
I have started. So I watch Channel 4 in the mornings a lot, and it'll go right into CBS mornings with Gayle King.
Okay.
And I've never liked Gayle King, and I will admit that it was a stupid Oprah thing, and like, it's so dumb of me. And so she's a very good broadcaster, but in the very beginning, they do this thing where it's like, I'm Gayle King, I'm Flippity Moses, I'm blah-da-da-da-da. And she goes like if one of them's gone, she's like, but we're here, so let's go. And it's your morning in 90 seconds. And I love the 90-second thing. I love getting all the news in 90 seconds, but I hate when she goes, let's go, and points at me. I'm just like, oh, such hatred I feel.
Too much pressure?
It's just like
she's just
I don't
having
like
fun with it.
You know, when people have things.
Yeah.
Like
is she saying
I get it.
Like a short, like, let's go, or is she like, let's go?
No, she's like, let's go.
Oh,
yeah.
All right.
No, it's not a cool let's go.
She's just looking for something to do. She's broadcasting for hours at a time. Give her a break.
I will join you in the dislike of that.
Wow, you didn't even see it. You just heard me describe it.
You have to execute the let's go properly.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
like,
I
haven't
got
seen it, but I know it's terrible.
I'm a let's go expert.
It's a Hitlerian effort on my part there. Like, let me tell you about these people you're not going to like. You're like, yeah,
you know what?
Like,
Yeah.
You know what? That guy's speaking sense. I'm going to do what Dave says.
I'm going where he's going.
Yeah.
You don't like her? I don't like her.
I'm with you, dude.
That's a loyal friend right there. You know what? That's really nice.
Yes. Yes. I'll tell you guys about Universal Windows Direct. I'm not even going to try to make it interesting. It is interesting to the people who need to find it interesting, namely people who are interested in buying Windows. Because like all of my live endorsement ads, I don't want you to turn the station. I don't want you to be bored. But this is not the entertainment part of it. This is the informational selling part of it. So if you are interested in buying replacement Windows, I'm sure that you have been clocking the ads on television and maybe hearing people like myself do live endorsements on radio. I've represented a couple window companies in the past. I thank them for their business, but Universal Windows Direct is my favorite because they're not a price guy. They're not the cheapy guys. Anytime they lead with the price, that's their best feature. And look, I'm all up for a bargain. I don't need to pay top dollar for whatever I buy, but just know that if you're looking for quality windows, you can find them cheaper than us. You can't find them better. And you can find them a lot more expensive. I'm really chopping this one up. But so let me just bring it back down to earth. So you get a lifetime warranty, a lifetime guarantee. You get 36 months, same as cash financing. You get buy two, get two for free. So a lot of attractive things in the window business. 314-334-2522 or universalwindowsdirect.com.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Hey, it's Jim Costa with Cash the Ticket. It's March, so Mike Valeni and I are all over the tournament again this year. There's just nothing like betting in March. Breakdowns of every region and every game. From conference tournaments to the Final Horn, we'll have the picks and the plays on every single game. Cinderella spotlights, upset alerts, and some of that value for the last team standing. It's tourney time, so hunker down and bet the board with us. Subscribe and listen to Cash the Ticket in the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is a special notice to all U.S. taxpayers with back taxes to the IRS. Billions in tax relief is now being made available to struggling taxpayers, giving thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars in savings away to those who qualify. If you're facing wage garnishment, threatening letters, audits, liens, levies, or already in a payment plan, you can now expedite the resolution to your tax problem, end collections, and even qualify to reduce a large portion of what you owe. Stop IRS Debt has established a relief hotline for you to call to check what savings and options you qualify for. Dial 800-759-3413. With many people facing job loss and rising cost of living, these special IRS initiatives are designed to aid delinquent taxpayers with the relief that they need to get a fresh start. For a free consultation to see what savings you qualify for, call 800-759-3413. 800-759-3413. 800-759-3413.
When you've been hurt in an accident, you need a law firm that wins. Onder wins. For over 100 years, Onder Law has been winning for St. Louis. With over $5 billion in negotiated settlements and over $300 million in verdicts, Onder wins. Voted best law firm by STL Today 2 years in a row, Onder wins. Whether it's settlements, verdicts, or awards, Onder wins. If you've been hurt in a car accident, trucking accident, or hurt on the job, Onder Law will get you the money you deserve. At Onder Law, winning is what we do. So when the stakes are high, Onder wins. Call us today for a free consultation. We don't get paid unless we win for you. Dial 314 or 6189 million. That's 314 or 6189, then all zeros. Or visit us online at onderwins.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Hi, Mia here at the winnings desk of the Missouri Lottery. With 56 million winning tickets last year, anyone can win big. So set your destination to winning, like gas stations, grocery stores, or anywhere you can buy a ticket. The Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome and play responsibly.
Anderson is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Find out why Renewal by Anderson has the most 5-star reviews in St. Louis at rbastl.com or call 314-332-1957. rbastl.com.
The Dave Glover Show, weekdays at 1 on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
.322 DGS on KMOX 104.1 KMOX to be accurate. Am I the only one? I like them. I consume them. But it feels like the world is so crazy that now we're watching murder shows to relax. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's like, that's our entertainment.
Yeah.
Like, well, this will be fun.
It's perfectly, it seems like back in the 80s, they had those Faces of Death videos.
Yeah.
And you were like humiliated if you watched one. And I get that that's not exactly Lester Holt. But I mean, with a 2-hour show, like, and they say her smile lit up the room. Well, she's dead. I mean, like, if you're the one who lit up the room, you're gone. And it just like we watch these shows for relaxation when they're just very grisly murder shows.
Yeah, like, oh, my stressful day at work. I can't wait to get home and
people love them.
Watch that 3-hour thing about Gabby Petito getting dragged out into the desert by her boyfriend and murdered. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that current part of our culture. The
darkness.
Well, the entertainmentification of like real life.
It is weird.
Cases.
It is weird.
There's a very popular podcast called My Favorite Murder that I attribute most of that to, because that was the first big true crime thing that was like, oh boy, we have a really fun one for you today. She was cut in half and she was left on the side of 2 different highways in 2 different states. And it's like,
this ain't about podcasts. This has been going on for 30 years, man. We've had Unsolved Mysteries. We've had all these shows on for decades. It's not new. Right? I mean, what were all the unsolved mysteries about? They're all murders. They were all the stories of people disappearing. I mean, it was always that.
Those had a decorum, though, I feel like, in that
they were like, fair enough. Yeah.
People were, of course, like, oh, scandalous, but they at least, it felt like they took the subject matter seriously, or at least were putting forth the face that they were taking it seriously.
We've always been fascinated by those things because they're not normal.
Yeah.
It's not everyone's real life experience, so it's not as impactful to individuals because so few people experience those things, right? Which is the escape part of it. But we've always been fascinated by that stuff. I mean, people used to go to the public hangings to see people hung for stealing. Like, I mean, I think there's always been that part of us, but it ramps up when you have more. Like, you have 20,000 podcasts and you have 1 million TV shows and you've got streaming this and streaming that. I mean, we just have a larger number of them now.
Speaking of, I watched, hypocrite here, I watched the miniseries Adolescence on Netflix. Did you watch this?
I did. 2 separate series.
Yeah.
The first 2 episodes were super interesting, and then the second 2 episodes sucked.
Really?
I did not
Oh,
like
I
them.
loved them.
Yeah, did not like them.
I think maybe you didn't get it.
No, I get it. I get it. I get what they did. It just,
What do you think they did? No one's listening.
yeah. I'm not gonna give anything away because obviously it's a story about basically middle school murder in England. And the first 2 episodes were set up more. You're like, what happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's starting to get into, okay, why did this happen? And the police are learning some interesting. And mostly what the show is about is simple. It's about the things that are happening with teenagers that parents don't know about. And the pressures that we've talked about this a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
The pressures on young women that are coming from the internet and the pressures that are on young men based on, whether or not they're being pushed aside or they're getting the wrong messages. It's really an interesting premise. It's just that the second 2 episodes I thought went, I don't want to say off the rails. They just changed directions very fast.
Oh, I loved it. I can't wait to talk to you about this in 2 minutes when we're off the air.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but again, it was well done.
Rach, you think you'll watch this?
I am intrigued. I've had enough people say that it's worth watching that I think I'll check it out. I just I haven't personally seen anything about it. I've only heard word of mouth. So.
It's gotten good reviews. It's like if you go to IMDb, it's an 8 or 8.1 or something.
Yeah. It was very different, which I appreciated. Like the way they did it was unlike any show I've ever seen.
Yes. There are parts of it that I like the characters. I thought the
acting
kid
was great.
I thought the kid did a great job.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's a hard role for a 13, 14-year-old kid. Maybe he's a little
100%.
older, but he played younger, but
yeah. And Rach, I think you know this, but every episode is shot in one take. So there are
cool.
4 episodes, an hour long. And so when you're watching it, every episode, you get to the end. If they messed up a line or something, they had to start all over again.
Right.
It's like shot like a play.
That's crazy.
Apparently they did like 5 weeks of rehearsals and prep to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. In that way, it's super interesting because and it's all shot with one camera.
Yes. Really. Yeah. Okay, we'll talk. If you guys have saved $500,000 in your retirement and you would like it to spend more like $1 million or $1 million, you'd like to spend more like $2 million, consider going to the Retirement Planning 101 seminars put on by financial and tax architects. They are put on a couple of times per month at libraries and colleges around town. They'll take about 3 hours. They will be a 30,000-foot view retirement issues course. They'll talk about tax savings. They'll talk about how to get your money out of a 401k or a Roth, how to pay for your health care, when to take Social Security. We don't require any money at all. We would ask that you bring 3 canned goods to give to St. Louis Crisis Nursery. Call 314-350-8110 to reserve your space. 350-8110 for financial and tax architects. 314-350-8110.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
It's almost time for baseball's return to St. Louis. Get ready to watch your Cardinals take the field at Busch Stadium. From home runs and fireworks to historic plays and rising stars, there's no better way to catch Cardinals baseball than with thousands of friends, old and new, in the sea of red. Grab your tickets now to join the fun in Cardinals Nation. Visit Cardinals.com for tickets and info. St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
There's no better way to enjoy America's favorite pastime than cheering on the Cardinals with your family at Busch Stadium. From the thrill of watching the game to the kid-friendly activities, food, and fun, the ballpark has it all. Make magical memories as you cheer together for every home run, double play, and Cards win. Your family's summer tradition starts here at Busch Stadium. Grab your tickets today at Cardinals.com. St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Now it's time for Dave Murray's weather, sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. Be sure to stay tuned to the DGS right after this for Dave's full forecast.
Clouds will continue to increase as we go through our Monday afternoon. A little impulse of energy coming by tonight, but it's no big deal. A breezy 62 for the high. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy skies, 44, but want to keep it dry. On Tuesday, all about sunshine, 69, partly cloudy and 44 Tuesday night. Wednesday, pretty day, sunny and 64 for opening day. Partly to mostly sunny skies, 70, but some rain showers moving in late in the day, and it will be on the wet side on Thursday night. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray for the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooring.com Traffic Center.
And this traffic reports the service of the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. Just some slow going this afternoon. Westbound 70 is not bad, just kind of busy right around 61. Otherwise, it looks great from downtown. 64 is slow. Kings Highway out to McCausland. Lindbergh out to Spady, kind of busy. And then from west of Lake St. Louis Boulevard to 70 is off the pace. Southbound 270 south of Page to Ladue is crowded. Southbound 55 south of Arsenal to Bates, you've got a backup. And then it's a slow approaching Highway Z downtown. Westbound 44 past the Poplar busy. Eastbound 64 Route 3 over to 3rd Street's kind of heavy. I'm Roger Brand in the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
St. Louis, your drive home just got a whole lot better. Introducing Redbird Rush Hour, weeknights at 5. Get the latest local news, up-to-the-minute traffic, and exclusive St. Louis Cardinals insights, all in one power-packed hour. Whether you're stuck in traffic or cruising home, stay informed and stay connected to your city and your team. The Redbird Rush Hour, weeknights at 5 on the Voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Today, we're the largest injury firm in the world, and I'm thankful to you for trusting us all these years. We'll always be here for the people, not the powerful. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yields, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate. Paid for by Bayer.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX 1041 FM, KMOX to be precise. Dave Murray joins us. Hello, Dave.
Hi. I feel good about the flip, and I'm enjoying it.
Good. Congratulations to you. You've been a member of this team for 25 years now.
A long time.
Big deal.
I've been a member of team longer than Rachel is old.
Yeah, pretty close.
I wish. That's so nice of you
Pretty
to say.
close. So how are we looking?
We're looking okay. It's a lot of clouds around right now, or certainly partly to mostly cloudy. I don't see anything more than maybe a sprinkle this evening. It's not much in the way of rain, but if you hit one, don't be surprised. We'll be in the 50s, dropping through the 50s for evening plans, 44 for the low. Pretty day on Tuesday, sunshine, 69 degrees for the high, so a little bit warmer, almost by 10 degrees tomorrow. Quiet Tuesday night, Wednesday, sunny and 64. Thursday, of course, opening day, the big day, partly to mostly sunny skies, 70. Much of the day is really nice, but there's going to be some showers moving in, maybe a rumble of thunder, a flash of lightning late afternoon. And because it's kind of a late afternoon game, we have to pay attention to that. It will be wet Thursday night. So my advice is play fast, get the win, and get home.
There you go. Nice.
There you go.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm excited about opening day.
Me too.
Wheels and I get to broadcast.
Awesome.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. I wonder who's going to be our guest this year. That sounded really weird. I said that like a 4-year-old.
Yeah, you did.
I wonder who will join us this year, says the adult. I wonder who our guests are going to be.
Let me text Ricky Horton real quick.
Yeah. I don't know. I think our buddy Matt Pajeski is working on some of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually we have Mo on in that latter part of the opening day shows.
Yeah.
Unless he decides to stiff arm me. Like, he talked to me 2 weeks ago. He don't want to talk to me again.
Do we trust Matt?
Oh, yeah. I trust Matt.
I don't know.
He's my son, basically.
I don't know. Seems like he can.
Hey, Wheels, who's the new pitcher? I think he's a rookie this year. I don't know his name, unfortunately.
The one that made the team or one that didn't make the team?
I don't know.
Well, there's a guy that everybody's been buzzing about is Michael McGreevy, who went down. He had a great spring, and he went down. Unless you mean Quinn Matthews, who's kind of the hot new prospect, big lefty.
My next door neighbors, they have 2 kids, relatively young kids who are heavy into baseball, and one of these new pitchers is giving him advice.
Oh, so
helping him.
I would bet I would bet on the side of a guy like McGreevy because McGreevy's a California guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me. The wife couldn't remember the guy's name.
Okay.
And you're going to put up with that, Dave Murray?
That's okay with me.
You have bigger battles.
I'm certainly not teaching about it, bitch.
Yeah, we can do some headlines here. Headlines is brought to you by Schnucks. Reward yourself daily with the Schnucks Rewards app. This is a crazy story. A passenger says a United pilot forcibly removed him from an airplane bathroom. Now he's suing. So this passenger says he's Orthodox Jewish, and he filed a federal lawsuit against United Airlines and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, claiming he was forcibly removed from an airplane bathroom while experiencing constipation, exposing his private areas to other passengers. So he's in the bathroom trying to use the bathroom. He claims a pilot made disparaging remarks about their Orthodox Jewish faith, and they were paraded through an airport terminal by U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers. So the lawsuit says the pilot broke the bathroom lock, pulled him out with his pants down, and threatened to have them arrested while making derogatory comments about their faith.
So you never know, but I would be surprised if there's not another side to this story. I mean, that's a lot. To have a
that is a lot to
have a
take in.
pilot go like, hey, there's a Jew in the bathroom and he won't come out. Let's go rough him up. I mean, that's kind of weird. The guy was in there for 30 minutes. I think that is a safety risk.
Okay.
I think that any flight attendant or captain or co-captain would say, this is getting a little sketchy. And when they were knocking on the door, he was refusing to come out.
Okay.
So do I want to be pulled out showing my genitals to everyone? No, but I feel like there may be another side to these pancakes.
The White House is reportedly seeking a corporate sponsor for the annual Easter egg roll. This is a tradition that dates back nearly 150 years, not seeking a corporate sponsor, just the Easter egg roll part.
Right. Old Lincoln, he was out there trying to get those sponsors.
They're calling the move unprecedented, and people are concerned about ethics rules. But if you become a sponsor of the Easter egg roll, you could receive perks like naming rights, logo placement, and private White House tours, which of course raises concerns about potential corruption.
Yes, it does.
I saw that last night, and my initial reaction was, what the hell? This sounds ridiculous. Apparently, any money that comes from it is going to basically the White House Events and Promotions Society, which is a nonprofit, nonpartisan thing that runs things like the Easter egg thing and all of that. So I was a little less worried about it when I saw that that's where the money's going.
I would rather not have that money and not have us putting NASCAR stickers
I don't
on
disagree,
kids.
but we're also doing Tesla commercials in front of the White House.
Oh, I know. It's
Right,
worse than
yeah.
that.
Which is insane. Remember when a brown suit was a big deal?
Right, mom jeans.
Like, oh no.
Speaking of Tesla, the FBI is warning Americans of escalating attacks on Tesla cars and dealerships. There's all these fires that are being set. There was one at the Tesla charging station in Fargo, North Dakota. This incident is a part of a series of apparent acts of domestic terrorism, they're calling it, against Tesla, including arson attacks in Las Vegas and Kansas City. So people suspect that this is linked to Elon Musk's support for Donald Trump and his role in the Department of Government Efficiency.
If you're attacking someone else's car because you're mad at the person who made the car, you are really in a bad way. There's something wrong with your head. Right?
Yeah, how effective, like, what are you trying to accomplish by doing
I mean, the problem I get, and I get it, because the problem here is that you have the people that really hate Elon, and I despise that guy. I think he's a bad guy. I think he's got bad intentions. But I don't ascribe his personality or beliefs to anyone that buys one of his cars. A lot of people bought those cars because they think of it for the ecosystem, like the ecosystem.
The environment?
The environment.
The environment.
Good Lord, Wheeler.
Kevin's nervous because Channel 5 is here filming.
I don't want to say anything smart because then people get their expectations up. So if I dumb it down a little bit, then people will be surprised when they hear me.
They're buying them because they love the ecosystem. Oh, you stupid idiot.
Oh, that was a
stupid fool.
That's kind of a Farley moment, wasn't it? Idiot.
That'll make the news.
Yeah.
Idiot. Yeah, that's what Mike Bush is going to lead with now.
That'd be great. I would cheer that
Wheeler
on.
loses it.
Wheeler
He
crashes
doesn't
out
know
live
what
on the
words
air.
mean.
A Twitter bird sign from the defunct San Francisco office sold for nearly $35,000 at auction. So you guys might remember the Twitter bird sign. It was known as Larry. They took it down when they changed the name of Twitter to X, and it adorned Twitter's old headquarters. It weighed 560 pounds. It measured 12 feet by 9 feet.
That's a decent price.
Yeah, its estimated worth was 40 grand. So someone got it at a little bit of a deal there. The auction company did not disclose the buyer. I wonder who would want the Twitter sign that bad.
You'd have to have some space.
Yeah, you would.
No kidding.
Okay, here's some wedding woes. The average wedding in 2025 is costing couples $33,000. Now, this is down from $35,000 in 2023, but I just think this is insane. And personally, I would put that money towards a house or something.
Yeah,
Just
good
one
point.
quick
I
party.
would take those numbers and run right now if I could get them.
Dave's like, can we just book this right now?
I'm living it. Look,
Can I get it on
living in fear.
Dave's like, can I get it? Can I get it on layaway?
Steve's been seeing this new guy, and Maureen's asking the normal questions. I'm like, so big family, planning a big wedding, like high expectations, destination perhaps. I'm getting screwed on that.
Well, you're not going to be able to say no to anything because it'll
Of
be
course
Phoebe
not.
asking
No, of course not.
They're like, yes, everything. You want a giraffe? We got a giraffe.
Let's do one more story here and then we'll take a break. The Jonas Brothers. You guys know the Jonas Brothers?
Very well.
They're bringing the Jonas 20 tour to St. Louis. I kind of can't believe this has been a band for 20 years. But the 43-date stadium and arena tour includes a stop at St. Louis's Enterprise Center at 7:30 p.m. on Wednesday, October 8th. I was never like a huge, it was not really my thing, but my friend Shelby from high school was really into Jonas Brothers, and she burned me a CD back when people were burning CDs. And I enjoyed a couple of the songs.
Yeah, back to the Phoebe obsession. I got her backstage to meet the Jonases, and her friend who was riding her coattails jumped in on the good Jonas. Phoebe got the bonus Jonas.
Wait, there's a good and there's a bonus?
Yeah, there's a good,
Oh, yeah.
there's a so-so, there's a maybe, then there's the bonus Jonas.
Oh, there's 4 of those guys.
Yeah, I think the fourth is sort of like Jimmy Osmond, got like a lazy eye.
Oh no.
Well, there's Kevin Jonas. He's like,
that's the one.
He's the best one, right?
Well, no.
Then there's Dang it.
There's Joe Jonas, who was kind of considered to be the hot one until Nick Jonas grew up a little bit, and then he's like the most popular Jonas by a lot.
And there's Brumbus Jonas. He was kind of the one that nobody talks about.
Jonas.
Steve's gonna go back to KSDK and they're like, "You get some good stuff." You're like,
Yeah.
no, no, I did not.
Thank you, Dave.
Yep.
Traffic from the michaelsflooring.com Traffic Center.
This traffic report is a service of Siding Express. Westbound 70 is just a little busy at 79. Doesn't look bad. North 270, the right lane slow in a couple of spots. North of Dorset up to 70. South 270, busy Olive to Ladue and right through the Manchester Road area. 44 down to Gravois gets heavy again. After that, southbound 170 is bogged down from Ladue to 64. Westbound 64, stop and go pockets from Boyle out to McCausland. Spady to Ballas is busy. Just a little heavy at Prospect. Doesn't look bad on the 64 on the Westplex right now. Westbound 44 is good to go. Southbound, just slow past the Poplar, but otherwise fine. Southbound 55, Arsenal down to Bates. Stop and go pockets. North of Z down through McNutt is slow. Eastbound 64, heavy across the Poplar over to 3rd Street. Eastbound 70 looks a little busy coming through Packers Avenue right now also. Transform your home with the beauty and durability of James Hardie Siding. At Siding Express, we specialize in James Hardie Siding installation. Visit sidingexpress.com today to schedule a free consultation. That's sidingexpress.com. I'm Roger Brand in the Michaels Flooring Outlet.com Traffic Center.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
The KMOX First Pitch Breakfast presented by Budweiser is Thursday and features an unfiltered conversation with the Cardinals Hall of Famer Vince Coleman. Tables are on sale now and include a delicious breakfast buffet, bottomless mimosas, Bloody Marys, and an ice-cold Budweiser. Plus, you'll get 2 free tickets to Saturday's Cards-Twins game. Start this unofficial holiday with KMOX, Budweiser, Overhead Door Company, St. Louis Composting, Rally House, and Dirt Cheap. Get 20% off your table now by using the code KMOX. Everything you need at KMOX.com/events.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business.
You bet, and we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place.
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
A landscaping business.
Oh, we can print yard signs, t-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mo.
I like it.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 1041 FM KMOX. Kathy says, I just moved over to 1041 and y'all sound much smoother. Love you guys.
Oh, awesome. Smoother. I like
Yeah,
that.
I'm looking for smooth. Ideally, on FM, I sound like Kevin does on AM.
Stupid.
Nice and loud.
Yeah.
I say dumb things.
I'm even louder on FM. Woo.
It's National Cocktail Day, and it's also National Cheesesteak Day.
I like
Those
both
should
of those
probably go
things.
together. Yeah.
They kind of do go together, don't they? The new diet craze going around is eat like a baby.
Okay, would you like to expand upon that?
Drinking bottles?
I eat
just-
like a fat baby.
You just wear a diaper. You eat slowly, you eat mindfully, and you don't snack because babies can't snack because they only get what grown-ups give them.
Why did that sound so cute? You describing that?
I don't think a baby eats mindfully.
Yeah, babies don't eat mindfully.
It's the opposite of mindful.
Yeah, they're not sitting
Just
there
grab
like
a
"Ah,
handful,
the
like shove it in their mouth.
My
Yeah.
friends have a twin 2-year-olds, and they just they grab crackers and then they just throw them, and sometimes they stuff them into their face.
Wait a second. Crackers, that sounds like a
And that's
snack.
just
And
me.
as we all know, babies can't
don't get
snack.
snacks.
Yeah. Do you guys see that we have undercounted the world population?
Oh.
Possibly by billions.
Oh.
So this whole
that
time.
seems like a big mess up.
See, here's how you knew. We've known for a while that we had 8 billion people, but then the UN came out and they said 8.2. So
Uh-huh.
they put like a little fine line on it.
Yeah.
And then the boys in the truck started checking into it. And they're like, how exactly are you counting this? And they told them, and they're like, you're way off.
Yeah, they're hedging.
Like they're not counting a lot of people. So they say it could be as many as 10.
What?
Yeah.
Couple extra billion here.
Couple
and
extra
there.
billion.
How do you miss 2 billion people?
As many as 10 people. That's a lot of people.
UN. What are you going to do?
Yeah, how do they do that? Do they just get everyone's census and then okay, well,
kind
let's
of
add them all together?
Yeah, kind of.
Just eyeball it.
Like third world countries are very difficult to do that. They don't typically have the kinds of things that we do.
Mhm.
So they have different ways of doing it. Bob Weir from the Grateful Dead says that he is very much looking forward to death. He says, I tend to think of death as the last and best reward for a life well lived. That's an interesting take.
I got to tell you. Must feel good feeling that way.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's a better way to feel than being super scared of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's I mean, I know his is not coming from a religious view, but I think a lot of religious people view it that way.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I know my aunt, who was a nun, when she knew it was coming because she had a lot of lung problems and some things like that, she was like, I'm fine. I'm happy. I know I'm going. I'm good with this.
There's a new trend of people going under general anesthesia to get a tattoo.
Oh,
I'll do it. I don't want to, that's scary.
It's like,
Well, then I think a lot
I
of people
want
would,
abs, but I don't want to do crunches.
Exactly. I would love that too. If you can do it.
That's true.
I'll take it.
I would too. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, I guess that is fair now that you explain it. You put it in those terms,
What terms you put them in?
I want abs, but I don't want to do crunches.
Oh,
Yeah.
I want the good, but I don't want to do the
I
work.
want the good. I don't want the bad.
I don't know.
Who
I got to
wants-
be honest with
Who
you.
wants the bad?
So I don't.
Give me the good, please.
Dave, you're the only person in the tattoo community that is in this studio.
Yeah.
If you found out that other people did that for their tattoos, or do you think that would be a thing you're judged about in the group of people that get tattoos?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I figured it would be too.
Yeah.
Like you got to earn that.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if you already know I'm a wuss and then I'm like, look at my cool tattoo.
What if there's no question about it at all?
Yeah. Well, and you see my tattoo and I'm like, yeah, I got knocked out 6 hours for it. It was great.
You just get a big giant one that says wuss.
Yeah.
Do not resuscitate. There are people that get DNR tattooed on their chest.
Really?
Yes.
That's
Did you learn that from the pit?
No, I learned that from tattooers.
Dave's like, I learned that in prison.
Mhm. Yeah, I learned that.
All of Dave's tattoos were done by a tattoo gun with an ink pen and a lighter.
I got to tell you, man, those are some of my favorite TikToks, though, are guys that used to be in prison telling the stories about how that all works.
Oh, yeah.
And I never want to experience that, but it's fascinating.
One of my favorite guys makes prison recipes. So he'll show you how to make
Oh,
candy out of half and half creamer and sugar. And yeah, it's fun. It's fun to watch.
I grew up in the first iteration of Scared Straight.
Yeah.
Before anyone figured out that shouldn't be on network television. And I remember watching that. You're going to make me your what? Bitch? What? What's that even mean? I don't even understand the concept. I'll tell you guys about my friends over at First Missouri Credit Union. Everything at First Missouri is better than everything at a bank. Okay. Now, maybe I'm being a hypocrite because I have money in a bank I've been with for 30 years since I was a lawyer. No plans on, quitting there or moving it around, but I did open 2 accounts, going to be 3 soon, at First Missouri. And I have to tell you that the way they treat me is far superior to the bank. Just the friendliness, the access, the yes, Mr. Glover, come right in, please have a seat. Let's get this estate account set up for your mom. When you borrow money, they charge you less interest. When you invest, like putting money into a checking account or a savings account, they pay you more. We pay 4.27% on your checking up to $100,000. A bank just the other day, I forget which one it was, or I would name them, I don't mind that because they were advertising it, are paying 4.08% on a certificate of deposit. So we're better, we're nicer, and we pay better interest rates on both ends. Call the number 1-314-544-5050 or the number 1 stmocu.org.
The Biz Dash returns as St. Louis's healthiest happy hour. Combining fitness and fun, it's a perfect team bonding activity for any size business. All levels of runners and walkers are welcome. Join us this spring at Energizer Park, home of St. Louis City SC, for the 10th year of the Biz Dash, the ultimate office party and kickoff to summer. Thursday, May 22nd at Energizer Park in downtown St. Louis. Create your company team today at stlbizdash.com.
You guys, having a great lawn is a lot like putting together a good sports team. It takes some expertise. It takes time. It takes knowledge. It takes extra care. Well, I don't have any of those when it comes to taking care of a lawn, and that's why I trust True Green. I've been with them for a dozen at least, probably 15 years, pretty much ever since we've been in our house. We moved in there in 2008. They are the local experts here in St. Louis. They are the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour, and they know a little bit about keeping grass looking the way that it's supposed to. So I couldn't recommend them more. I've never had a problem, but if you do, they come back between visits to make everything right, and they're more affordable than you think. They match any competitor's price. They back everything up with that satisfaction guarantee that I mentioned. So don't wait. Don't hesitate. Get your plan set up for the spring and summer. Go to truegreen.com today and then let the pros do the work while you sit back and enjoy the results.
Discover true luxury at Missouri's first and only standalone Genesis dealership, Genesis of St. Charles. Thank you for making us the #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2024. True luxury isn't just built, it's engineered with precision and passion. Explore amazing cutting-edge technology, redefined elegance, and exhilarating performance in the new 25 GV80. A new level of luxury awaits you at Genesis of St. Charles. Visit us in-store or shop genesisofstcharles.com. Based on GMA sales records.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-536-9607. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-536-9607 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-536-9607 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-536-9607.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooring.com Traffic Center.
Well, westbound Highway 70 is just kind of slow. Goodfellow out through Jennings Station. South 170 bogs down at Ladue. Westbound 64 Boyle out through McCausland is busy. And in St. Charles County, it's off the pace now from Lake St. Louis Boulevard on out to Highway 70. Southbound 270 south of Page all the way down to Manchester is pretty busy after that. It looks good down to 55. Southbound 55, stopping those stuff approaching Arsenal down through Bates. North of Z, down through McNutt toward Highway A, there's slow stuff. Eastbound 64 busy. Union Station headed across the Poplar. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet.com Traffic Center.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 4 o'clock, it is 58 degrees downtown at the Arch. There was a group chat among Trump administration officials talking about plans to bomb Yemen. The problem, others were on the chain who should not have been. Correspondent Matt Piper.
Besides the defense secretary and vice president, the chat appeared to also include other top Trump officials like Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, and CIA Director John Ratcliffe. So says The Atlantic's Jeffrey Goldberg, who writes he too was in the group chat beginning March 13th. Goldberg says Defense Secretary Hegseth told the group that the strikes against the Houthis would commence at 1:45 p.m. Eastern. Within 10 minutes, there were reports of it happening, and in the chat, congratulatory messages from top cabinet officials.
The National Security Council says the text chain appears to be authentic and that it is looking into how a journalist's number was added to the chain. The Cross River Crime Task Force held a major drug bust during an operation on a drug trafficking travel route on March 12th. Commander Marcus Polito says they seized a half-pound of meth from one individual during the bust.
A half-pound of meth could be distributed to a neighborhood, to a city, and depending on what smaller increments they're going to divide that up into, it could be several drug deals.
He says other individuals stopped were found to have fentanyl, cocaine, and other hard drugs. Starting tomorrow, you can vote early in the city. Election Board Democratic Director Ben Borgmeyer says the last day you can vote absentee in person is the Monday before the election. He tells Megan Lynch about turnout expectations.
Turnout in prior primaries was around 20%, and what we saw in the city in this past March was 17.8% turnout.
With the election just over 2 weeks away, who does the last mayor of St. Louis to serve multiple terms think about this race?
Francis Lay served as St. Louis City Mayor from 2001 through 2017. He tells KMOX he wants to see increased engagement from voters.
We've got to make sure we get people engaged in the political process and support who we believe is the best candidate for the to be mayor.
Asked who he believes the best candidate would be, Slay says he has one in mind but will not be making his choice public. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
A Southern Illinois lawmaker is speaking out against a measure that would make internet gaming legal in the state. Oakville Republican Representative Charlie Meyer says it could hurt the video gaming industry there.
Our local businesses rely on this revenue from the foot traffic that comes through them. And these are the things that keep our businesses open.
Meyer also tells KMOX he's concerned that having gaming options available 24/7 from any personal device would increase rates of addiction. The proposal would create a licensing structure and impose a 25% tax. The KMOX business desk.
Being a small business is a scary place to be right now.
The founder of Clementine's Naughty and Nice Creamery, Tamara Keefe, she's headed to D.C. in May to accept the Small Business Person of the Year from Missouri Award from the Small Business Administration.
First of all, you have to invest in your team and your staff, right? First and foremost, because without them, we don't really have a business.
The Dow from Stifel up 597 points to 42,583.
Clouds will continue to increase as we go through our Monday afternoon. A little impulse of energy coming by tonight, but it's no big deal. A breezy 62 for the high. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy skies, 44, but want to keep it dry. On Tuesday, all about sunshine, 69, partly cloudy and 44 Tuesday night. Wednesday, pretty day, sunny and 64 for opening day. Partly to mostly sunny skies, 70, but some rain showers moving in late in the day, and it will be on the wet side on Thursday night. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray for the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
We've got some clouds. It is 58, feels like 53 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Weber's World is sponsored by Weber Chevrolet, WeberChevrolet.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX. Chip says, what news channel is Dave on tonight? I guess he means this, Dave. We will be on Fox 2 during the 5 p.m. We will be on Channel 5 during the 6 p.m. I was on Fox 2 this morning about 7:30 a.m. So we've had our friends in the media coming by and featuring us because at midnight today we flipped the switch and went to 104.1 FM. So you should be able to hear that anywhere you are in the region. And if you are outside the region, you can, of course, listen to 1120, or you can also listen to us on the Odyssey app. Skip Weber's here. Any thoughts on FM?
So what does FM mean exactly?
Yeah, I know, right? You've been wanting this for a long time. I mean, I've been wanting this for a really long time.
Oh, yeah. No, it's cool.
Probably doubles our listenership.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, there's something iconic about KMOX on 11:20 a.m.
Yeah, always will
When
be.
I lived in Texas, I listened to Cardinal games on. I didn't try to find a local station. I just listened to 11:20 at night, and that's all cool. But let's face it, the technology, you've gone on to, XM and HD and all these other technologies. And I mean, it's just, I think FM is a good place to be, and
Yeah.
good for them. Good for
Yep.
you guys. Good
Yep.
for you guys.
Yep. So your travels are over for a little while?
Yeah. I've done a couple bouts of sailing, and, visited my hairstylist down there. in the
Yes, I
island.
see.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, started letting my hair grow, as you know.
Yes.
And when it's got a certain length, I mean, all our friends down there that we've seen for years and years, the locals, and they just said, you got to do it. You got to braid your hair. You got to go local style. We all like you. We all think of you as one of us. So in February, I did it, and it didn't hold that long. So they said, well, you got to put beads in it. So I tried it this time, and it's holding better.
Not to get too personal, but all the hair on my body might make one braid.
Dave's like, I just need one bead.
Yeah. Yeah. How much for one bead?
Well, I mean, and I'm sitting down, so you can tell it's not like I have a full head of hair.
Oh, you're
It's
doing
just-
okay.
It's just grown, and there's bald spots on it and everything.
Yeah.
So just
So if you cashed out of Weber Chevrolet now, or you lost everything, either way, and someone said, just come on down here, you can be a captain on one of these ships. Could you do it? Not could you do it technically, could you live
Yeah,
that
I think
way?
so. I think maybe so. I mean, if under those two circumstances, I wouldn't want either of those two to happen at this point. Yeah, but I mean, I love living in the Midwest. I love traveling, but I love coming home. It was so great to come home last night and just get home in my own bed, because this was an extended trip. We were sailing quite a bit. And,
Yeah.
no, I think I could do that mentally. It's a really, really cool place, and you can check out, and all the negative stuff that you hear about anywhere, you can just ignore. Now, that may be, naive to do that, but it's not touching down there. A little bit here and there, but
Yeah.
but you're more worried about, hey, what are we going to eat? What are we going to do? Did we catch a fish today? Can we cook that? What, that kind of thing. So
Yeah. Wheels, any chance you could be a ship captain?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, like, it would be fun. I enjoy it. I've always enjoyed getting out on the boat. I love water. The only problem is me and the sun. We're not.
Well, that's a
we're
good
not
point.
huge friends, but I coach
Yeah.
outside all summer, so yeah, I could probably.
I mean,
pull that off.
I'm fair skinned too. I
Yeah.
got to put a lot of sunscreen.
Yeah.
on. I wear. That's what you do. Get up and just the spray on stuff now is.
Oh,
genius.
that saves my
It's
life,
great.
man.
Yeah, I'm always wearing. And then they got these shirts. I wear a lot of sailing shirts where
Yep.
you got a long sleeve, but it's really lightweight, very, very
Keep you
lightweight.
cool.
You can get it wet, whatever. Yeah. So could you do this living on the boat? That's what a lot of people say they couldn't.
Yeah.
That's what we love.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
great. It's great.
I just want to get one of those shirts.
Yeah, I know
don't
they're great.
If your question, I don't know that I could live 365 on the boat.
Can I get satellite?
Could I
Can I get my baseball games out there on the boat?
Oh yeah, you can.
Then
get
I'm
some.
good.
Matter of fact, we got better.
My Xbox, I'm good.
We got better reception. I watched Blues games. Streaming in my little on the boat out. That was way better than the Wi-Fi at the resort that we go later on. But way better. It freezes up. I was watching the game. All the Blues games that were on when.
Yeah.
Didn't the nice little winning streak they're on.
So we're going to do an Elite Eight today, although it could turn into a Sweet 16. Maybe there are more of these than I know, but we just, given it's a weird day and going to FM, I just want to kind of visit with Skip a little bit, but let's do the Elite Eight at least of actors who pretty much have made a living out of just playing themselves, which we've never done.
Yeah.
And we talk about this
depends
concept.
on what the role, not like they play. So
right,
so and so as himself.
No.
Right.
They play the same
They're
character.
just always the same dude.
Yeah, but it's the same
Yeah.
persona.
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
That's how I played it.
All right, Skip.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, that was the first one I wrote down too.
I had to throw
I
out.
think we're gonna laugh at all of these because they're all gonna be dead on.
Yeah. No, that's the first one I wrote
Once
down
in a
too.
blue moon. I mean, a few things, but it's still he's got that.
Yeah.
Look the way he raises his eyebrows,
Mhm.
snarkiness, and yeah.
Andrew.
First one I thought of was Seth Rogen.
Oh, good.
And that's like stated. He fully. I mean, the character in Superbad, the main character, he's like that's directly me. I just wrote about some stuff that I did in high school and some of my friends. So I think he would not disagree, but Seth Rogen for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a lot of these, but I'm going to go Christopher Walken right out of the gate.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the same dude. He plays like sometimes he's mean, sometimes he's funny, but it's always Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
I had him in my head too, and then the one movie that kind of throws that off for me is that Catch Me If You Can, where he plays DiCaprio's dad. And he's not a badass. He's more of a down on his luck, struggling, but he's still got a few of those mannerisms, so it still works. And of course, everything else is in too. So yeah, so I didn't put him on the list, but I think I still agree with it. It's just like
we could do the opposite of this someday. Is like the chameleons, the ones that can literally be anybody. Yeah,
Rach.
I'm going to go with The Rock, which might not be fair because I haven't seen many of his films, but he does seem like he's always just being The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whether he's a detective or a ex-football player, whatever, he's always going to be somebody who beats people up.
Yep.
Yes. As his main thing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Cocks an eyebrow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
He cocks an eyebrow. And then he asks if you can smell what he's cooking.
Sounded like a very strange movie. I've not seen.
I'll be like,
I knew I was taking a risk with that one.
That one was straight to streaming, I bet.
And you only need about 5 minutes of it.
Just a couple of websites you can find that on.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Tom Hanks.
I had him
who I've really grown to dislike.
Oh, he's so cute. Is he the same in Saving Private Ryan, though?
Exactly.
He is kind of the same.
He's just it's a serious version because he's got it's the same personality.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I think it's just because I've grown to hate him. He's a fine actor, and he was Forrest Gump, and he was the guy in Apollo 13. I just think I don't like him.
Dave's over,
which is it's a different list. I'll go with someone else.
Okay.
Like if Tom Hanks from Saving Private Ryan gets on the plane to go back to America and it crashes and he does Castaway, it's the same movie.
Yeah.
But if he wakes up and he's all of a sudden a grown up, it's not.
Instead, I'll go with Tom Hanks' son, Chet.
Dave's like, I must stick with the hate.
No. Okay. The guy I'm going to put on is an amazing actor, but Samuel L. Jackson has made a living out of being Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah. I've seen some low key side things where he's a little different, but mostly he's Sam.
Yeah.
I rewatched 1408 recently. Oh, that's a great movie.
Yeah, he's great in that.
And he's great in it.
And he's different in that.
Yeah. So I'm saying there are instances, but mostly he's
it's just like Christopher Walken.
Right.
Those are the exceptions that prove the rule.
Yeah.
When
good
it
point.
sticks out that there's the one movie that he didn't act like this.
And you're like,
obviously he belongs on the list.
That's a really great way to put it.
Yeah.
So we only have 3 picks left. I think we should just start throwing them out.
Okay.
Tom Cruise.
I'm going to give you a very, very, very dark horse.
Okay.
Follow me on this. And the younger people may not even realize it, but this is the first thing that came to my mind, even before Jack Nicholson, was Charles Grodin. Not a lot of stuff. There's a lot of several movies he's in. Midnight Run, of course, one of my favorites. He just that was him. If you look at him on the Tonight Show and Letterman and all that, that was his character, and several other characters he's in. We don't need to use it. Beethoven, all the ones he's in, we don't need to use that because it's not as deep as Nicholson and those others. But to me, it's just like, that was the one that
is that the greatest job, to just be
yourself,
handsomely rewarded for just being yourself.
Yeah.
You just happen to have a persona.
And really,
you just have a thing.
The thing about it is, it's even deeper than that because he liked being a jerk on those things.
Yeah.
And he's not. The role is actually his personality.
So he's actually acting.
He's actually a nice guy.
Yeah.
But he always does that. So you could use that or not.
I had Harrison Ford, Owen Wilson, and John Wayne.
I had Tom Cruise, and I had crap. No, I can't remember now.
And Keanu too.
You should I had Adam Sandler, Bill Murray, Tom Cruise. I had, and then one that was maybe another obscure, Danny Trejo, the machete guy. He's always a scary dude.
He's always
I had Owen Wilson and Zooey Deschanel. Didn't have any ladies on there.
Brian from the stream has a good one. Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
Emily has Robert Downey Jr.
I'll throw Pacino in there.
Yeah.
When is he not Al Pacino?
Yeah, exactly.
He's definitely
in his later years.
yes. Yeah. Heat was probably the transition
Yeah,
movie.
from then on. Yeah. I
He
agree
was
with that.
great in it.
He
But
was.
he did a lot of this.
Yeah.
And then since Heat, you're like,
It's
The
like
only
every
difference
movie.
is whether he's blind or not. Is he blind or not? He's going to still talk the same way.
Totally different character.
Yeah.
Right. So who am I writing down, folks?
Well, a couple of us, I think 2 or 3
Throw him
of us
out
said
again.
Tom Cruise.
we had
Yeah.
Cruise. So let's do him.
Tom Cruise.
What about Adam Sandler?
I'm
like
fine with
that
Adam
one.
Sandler
Yeah.
and then Tom Hanks. So
Number one seed, Tom Hanks.
Ooh, we had a couple other good ones. Clint Eastwood,
yeah,
Yeah, that
Clint's
was
pretty
Sylvester Stallone.
I think Sylvester Stallone much more than
Yeah.
Eastwood.
Yeah, I
Put him
agree.
down.
Yeah.
Sylvester.
James says Burt Reynolds's, and that made me laugh.
Bert's always the same guy too. He's always the wisecracking, smart assy guy who can handle himself a little bit.
Now that'd be another good Sweet 16 or Elite 8 is okay. So I asked the sports guys last week, what Major League Baseball team has the best thing? Is it the Green Monster? Is
Right.
it Cardinals Nation? Is it the Yankees pinstripe? You could do that with actors. Who's got the best thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's
Ooh,
got the
yeah.
best stick?
Like that.
You know what? Let's just tear this one up and start over again.
All right, I'll go first.
This
Jack
one
Nicholson.
just sucked.
Jack Nicholson.
Okay, people that play themselves. Jack Nicholson versus Sylvester Stallone.
Boy,
I'm going to go Jack.
I got to go Jack. Just he's
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Jack.
Seth Rogen versus Adam Sandler. It's a good matchup.
That's a great matchup. You know what? I'm gonna go with Seth Rogen because at least Adam Sandler did what's that? Hidden Gems, Uncut Gems.
Right.
Yeah.
That's,
Gems.
once again,
He was
I'm
a little
gonna
different there,
but
but
I'm
Seth
gonna do
Rogen
that
is always
exception-
the same.
exception to prove the rule thing because of Waterboy and Happy Gilmore and
Yeah.
and Big Daddy and everything. I got to go Adam Sandler on.
right.
I'm struggling because Seth Rogen did play Wozniacki. Is that his name? Wozniak, Steve Wozniak
Yeah.
in the Steve
Apple
Jobs.
guy?
Yeah. Didn't see the film, but I'm sure he did a fine job. Gosh, I don't know. I'll go Adam Sandler.
Where's it stand? Did you vote yet?
I'll say Seth.
That's tied to you.
Ah, crap. The reason I'm saying crap is I couldn't care less. Like most of the time I'm invested, and on this one I'm like, flip a coin.
He's like, can I just write in Tom Hanks?
I'll go Adam. Christopher Walken versus Tom Cruise.
Oh my God.
I gotta go Walken.
I'll go Walken.
Yeah.
Walken.
Man, I think Walken has more versatility than Cruise.
I'd rather watch
Cruise is
though.
always the intense, angry guy chasing someone.
Except for in Tropic Thunder.
Cruise has definitely made the better living out of being himself.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure. The Rock versus Samuel L. Jackson.
Ooh.
Samuel L.
I'm
Jackson.
gonna go The Rock.
Yeah, The Rock.
The Rock.
Rock moves on. Okay, there's your final four. Actors that just made a living playing themselves. Jack Nicholson versus Adam Sandler.
Jack.
I'll go with Sandler.
I'll go Sandler too.
You
Tied to
Oh,
bastard.
Tied to Dave.
I can say that now
Sandler.
because we're on FM.
Dave's like,
Yeah.
damn it.
And FM is hip.
Yeah, you can cuss on FM.
Steve's listening right now. He said, don't you finish this show without saying bastard, bitches. I'm just doing what the boss says. What's tied to me? Jack versus
versus
Adam?
Yeah.
Jack. Walken versus The Rock.
Walken.
Walken versus The Rock. And
Yeah, Walken.
I'll go The Rock.
What are you going to do?
I'll go The Rock.
Your dirty movie name dropping guy?
Rock time.
To me
Tied to you
again?
again, yeah. I'm going to make my play for Walken on it.
Okay.
Because he's the same character in very different roles.
Yeah.
It's not just the same
Like The
plot.
Rock.
Right.
No,
The Rock-
because The Rock just
The
keeps
Rock
playing.
is the same guy.
I'm saving
Right,
LA.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes
It's
Christopher
you got the
Walken's a
Deer
murderer.
Slayer. You got
Yeah.
the Deer Slayer. You got what? You know. I
Right.
mean, that's why. That's why
Yeah.
I think.
I'm with you.
Okay, there's the finals. Jack Nicholson versus Christopher Walken. Who plays themselves the most?
Walken.
Ooh, Jake. The answer is Kevin Costner.
Oh, he's the same guy
Nope.
every time.
You don't think so?
Nope. He's dancing with wolves 1 minute, and the next he's doing something else.
Next he's in
he's on-
Yellowstone.
Next thing,
He's
shooting
Elliot-
arrows.
no, he's-
shooting
he's-
arrows at the sheriff of Nottingham.
He's Elliot Ness, the finest detective.
He's playing JFK. Hello.
He's always the straight-laced pretty guy.
He can play baseball. He can catch Al Capone. He can do it
And he's
all.
always boring.
He does it all.
He didn't play JFK.
He is the pretty boy, and I love him for it.
I'll go Jack Nicholson.
Against who? What's the
Walken.
second one?
Yeah, I'm going Walken.
I'm going Walken.
Rach?
I don't know. They're both like
So
equally
make it a tie to
yoked.
Dave again.
Okay, whatever it does to make a tie to Dave.
Wow. The lack of respect I get on FM.
You FM people, this happens every week.
This is the least
Dave-
invested
it's
we've
basically
ever
Dave's
been in this
decision
league.
goes.
Dave, we're giving you the power.
I am going to 590 a.m. after this. Walking.
Hey.
Traffic from the michaelsflooring.com traffic center.
This traffic reports the service of Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electrical. Westbound 70, Goodfellow out through Jennings Station's bogged down after that. Really doesn't look bad at all. On westbound Highway 64, you've got slow traffic from Boyle headed out through Clayton Skinker. A little busy approaching Ballas. Heavy stuff 364 through the Boulevard. Then it starts picking up the pace after that. Southbound 270 from Olive down through Ladue. And then right around Manchester, a little busy, but it's slower. 44 midway down to Grabway and again approaching Tess on Ferry. South 170, Ladue to Brentwood is bogged down. Southbound 55 is stop and go pockets from Arsenal all the way down to Bates. And then it's slow north of Z and stretches down toward Highway A. Eastbound 64, that's gotten tougher. Looks like we have an incident at the Missouri end of the Poplars. 64, a solid jam from Jefferson to there. 44 from Lafayette over to the bridge. Looks pretty heavy as well. I'm Roger Brand at the Michaels Flooring Outlet.com Traffic Center.
In the 70s, baseball player Jerry Kelly decided to do something different.
Thanks for calling Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
This year, the company Jerry started decided we'd do something different.
Thanks for calling Jerry Kelly Heating, Air, and Electrical.
And electrical.
Now, 90 and 60. A look back at the latest St. Louis City SC match. Presented by Woods Basement Systems, Inc.
To the left foot. Wins it to the top of six-header, and Philadelphia's on the board. Glavinovic. And for the first time this season, somebody has scored against St. Louis City SC. It's a yellow card. He's out. And that was on Edward Leuven. The first loss of the season for St. Louis City SC. And the young roster of Bradley Carnell. That's all they needed.
Up next, it's City SC and Austin FC. Sunday afternoon. Pregame 12:45. Kick at 1:15 on Y98.
Tripping over uneven concrete? Don't replace it, raise it with concrete leveling. Call the all things basement-y experts, Wood Basement Systems, for a free estimate at 618-249-5503 or learn more at woodsbasementsystems.com.
The Rockwood School District has openings and is looking for people who enjoy working with kids to drive buses, work in the school cafeteria, clean buildings, work as groundskeepers, work with kids in the before and after school program, and much more. Rockwood is a great place to work. Outstanding benefits, positive, caring work environment, competitive pay, working with kids, and really a fun working environment. You can find out more at rsdmo.org/jobs.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust us to bring happiness home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
I see clearly now, thanks to the doctors, Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, Royer, and Barry. You can too. Go to youridoc.com.
Every success you've had began with a great opportunity. Now there's another one. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we provide no-cost digital resources in place of textbooks and most courses. And that's not all. You'll receive your accredited online education at an affordable tuition with a choice for more than 135 degree and certificate programs. With online and hybrid courses, get everything you need to succeed again. Learn more at umgc.edu, certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Are you a small business owner who needs immediate cash flow? At Swish Funding, we have flexible funding options from $25,000 to $2 million. For the best rates and terms for your business, just one application to Swish Funding gives you access to our entire network of funders, with cash in your account in as little as 24 hours. To qualify, you must be in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000. Apply at swishradio.com and use code RADIO. swishradio.com, code RADIO.
KMOX is everywhere. 1120 a.m. Streaming live on the Odyssey app and now at 104.1 FM.
All right, you guys really like that category. We'll come back with something similar to that next couple of weeks. I want to hear about Weber, but give me 60 seconds on this because you were talking about you were going to watch Lawrence of Arabia again because that's what guys do. Is that more of a guy thing than a girl thing, Rach?
Like watching the same movie
Over and over again? Or is it just the movies that we watch are maybe
It's
different?
probably the movies are just different.
Yeah,
If I,
I would
had to
agree with
guess.
that. Based on my daughters and sisters and wife, they all have
They
their
repeat
favorites.
as well.
They all have their favorites. Now they're not as good as the ones I watch. Let's just face it.
They're for girls, you know.
And what? Just to clarify for the audience, it's been years and years and years since I've seen Lawrence of Arabia. So there's oftentimes when I almost watch it again because I love it so much, but because it's so long, I didn't. We were just laughing about that. I was on the plane. It's one of the selections. I said, "Hey, I almost watched it on the plane home." No, I didn't. It's just too long, So, but I do need to sit down and watch it.
You would have had time for nothing but Lawrence of Arabia.
Exactly.
Which is a strange position to be in.
I'd be watching the climax of the whole thing as we're
As
wheeling
you're
up to the gate and saying,
landing.
"Wait a minute, I can't get off the plane yet. I got to, another 10 minutes."
Funny. So what's new, Weber?
So it's a great month going on. We actually had hail a couple while I was gone. I was on top of it. They were telling me about it. A tornado going through Baldwin and all that. But we had the hail on the Columbia side and a little bit in Creve Coeur. But so we got some hail stuff, and that always is a good savings for people. We've got everybody out there. Much of it's already fixed. Most people say, "Oh no, it doesn't." I can't even tell if that's $800 damage. Just give me $800 off, and I'll do it. So we got that going with Columbia, so that's cool. But this is March, and this has been a great month. We're already more sales at every store than what we finished the whole month of February in. And we've got another week. So that just means, to me, it always says that our pricing is right. We're right there where people want to be. We've got plenty to choose from. And as we have been for many, many years, ever since they started using Reputation.com and DealerRater.com, we are the best rated Chevy dealer in many hundreds of miles of a radius because we take care of people.
I know that you have up times and down times, but people are always going to buy a car.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, even if you wait a little bit.
Let me just say, my salesmen will be happier on April 1st than they were on February 1st, even though we had a good January by January standards.
Yeah.
March is a great selling time. You're right. They're always going to be, but my guys who do 15, 16 cars every month will probably end up in the 25 range in March and April, and so on. So there's definitely ups.
What's
and
the
downs.
most you've ever seen someone sell in a month?
Oh, I've seen people hit 100.
Damn.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. But there's big dealers out there, and I don't know how many salesmen they have. I mean, in other markets, we don't have the same kind of giant dealer because we're an older city. So we were around when the car was invented, unlike Phoenix and Dallas and all those. But there's dealers that just sell an unreal amount of vehicles, and I'm sure that some of their salesmen are way up there. But my guys are great, and they make a good living, and they really, really treat people well, and their people come back to them. You know it. You've seen it.
Same guys for 15 years.
Exactly.
The Cardinals wrap up the exhibition portion of the season tonight. They are in Memphis, home of their AAA affiliate, the Redbirds, and those two teams are going to match up against each other this evening. The starting lineup, it is notable because Cardinals manager Oliver Marmol earlier today at AutoZone Park did admit this starting lineup may look very similar to what we see when the games start counting on Thursday. Lars Nootbaar will lead things off, followed by Wilson Contreras, then Brendan Donovan, Nolan Arenado, Alec Burleson, Von Herrera, Jordan Walker, Victor Scott II, Mason Wynn batting in the 9 spot. For the Memphis Redbirds, some very familiar names starting for them tonight, including Jose Fermin, Thomas Sajaci, in addition to Michael Hellman and Cesar Prieto in that group that starts tonight for the Redbirds. This spring training report is brought to you by St. Louis Composting, Growing Gardens and Making Memories, and by Norm's Bargain Barn and Wilkie Window and Door. Coverage tonight begins at 6:05, a 6:15 first pitch. in Memphis with the Cardinals. Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
At 4:30, this news update is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. 58 feels like 51 downtown at the Arch. St. Louis police officer Nathan Spees has had a third surgery. It was successful. He is resting. Spees is the officer hit by a car last week while chasing a carjacking suspect on I-70. The man who struck him left the scene but was eventually arrested. St. Louis police say Officer Spees will soon be discharged from the hospital and be transported to a private location to continue his recovery. On April 8th, residents of the Afton School District will be asked to approve Proposition 1, a zero tax rate increase bond.
If approved, Proposition 1 will provide $30 million in funding for capital improvements across the district. Afton Superintendent Dr. Travis Brock says in 2016, the district had a successful bond election.
We've been able to pay some of those bonds off, and whenever you're in a position like that, it affords you the ability to extend those bonds without increasing the taxes on our voters.
All 4 Afton schools will benefit.
This is likely able to allocate money annually that would roughly cover about $20 million of improvements, but in order to do everything that is in the study, that's how we arrived at needing an additional $30 million.
Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Let's get an update of the St. Louis Business Index with Stifel's Scott Link.
Good afternoon, everyone. As just mentioned, optimism around President Trump's latest tariff plan led markets higher as it starts the week with the Dow Jones surging 597 points to 42,583. S&P 500 was up 100 points to 5,767. The NASDAQ rose 404 points to 18,188. And the Bloomberg St. Louis Index was up 32 to 1,519. For stocks of local interest, the biggest gainers today were Caleres up $1.10 to $17.60. Esco Technologies rose $6.98 to $168.42. And the leading decliners were Bayer off 46 cents to $6.05. And Anheuser-Busch InBev dropped $1.25 to $61.53. Finally, Stifel Financial was up $3.91 to $102.18. This has been Scott Link, Senior Vice President of Investment at Stifel, member SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange. For more information on Stifel, please visit our website at stifel.com.
A few light showers overnight, low 44. For tomorrow, sunshine with a high of 69. Right now, 58. The feels like 51 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Traffic from the michaelsflooring.com traffic center.
Well, this traffic report's a service of GL International Realty. Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty. Trouble downtown on eastbound 64. There's an incident at the Missouri end of the Papa Street Bridge. It's a solid jam back through Jefferson. 44 is bogged down to Lafayette because of it. There's a stalled tractor trailer, by the way, on the right shoulder near the Poplar. It's a little slow because of that as well. Southbound 55 Arsenal down through Bates is bumper to bumper. There's still slow stuff north of Z to McNutt, but after that, it looks like you're in the clear. Westbound 64 from Kings Highway headed out through McCausland is slow. And then again from 364 out to about Prospect is busy. South 270 is off the pace. Olive down through 64. 44 most of the way down to Gravois and then sapping into the Tesson Ferry. Southbound 170 busy at Ladue. North 170 Scudder up through Airport Road is heavy. Westbound 70 Riverview through Jennings Station slow, but it's wide open for you now in St. Charles County. And eastbound 70 on the Illinois side, heavy stuff from Packers Avenue over to 64 as well. Sell your home with trust, confidence, and written guarantees. Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty is St. Louis's real estate expert. Visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. I'm Roger Brand at the Michael's Flooring Outlet.com Traffic Center.
You've relied on KMOX for news, talk, and sports for generations. And now we're taking that experience to the next level. KMOX is now on 104.1 FM with the same great programming, including Cardinals baseball. Now with crystal clear sound, 11:20 a.m., 104.1 FM, and streaming everywhere on the Odyssey app. KMOX is with you, however you listen.
And I got to tell you, the quality of the window, the professionalism of the install team, you name it, it was remarkable.
Another satisfied Wilkie Window and Door customer.
It was money well spent. Like I said, common sense. Get a couple bids. That will only enhance what you're getting from Wilkie once you see the price difference.
Get Anderson replacement windows now. Visit wilkiewindow.com.
You've got a customer for life.
Don't overpay for your Anderson windows. Visit us at wilkiewindow.com. wilkiewindow.com.
Create the ultimate raised bed garden with St. Louis Composting. Our premium compost and soil mixes are perfect for filling the raised beds you'll enjoy building, and even better for growing fresh, homegrown veggies. Imagine harvesting your own tomatoes, peppers, and cilantro for fresh salsa the whole family can enjoy. And with delivery right to your door, getting started has never been easier. Visit stlcompost.com to order a convenient delivery from your phone in seconds, or stop by